Hello and welcome to Infamous, the audio podcast. This is Brandon, or Mutilus on Discord.
This is Parker, go by One Who Parks on Discord.
This is Jeremy, just Jeremy on Discord.
And this is Aaron. I go by Treffenwood on Discord.
All right, welcome back to another installment of Infamous. This week, we're going to have some fun stuff to talk about, hopefully. Starting off, we've got announcements. Parker, you're down to 1,911 probationary episodes, barring any upcoming announcements.
Shit.
That might heavily swing this one direction.
Oh, shit.
Could be anything.
Could be anything. Even 9,000.
Even.
All right. Do we have news today?
We do have news.
Hey!
News! Yes. News!
So our news today is all about Claw. Finally, another criminal syndicate leader. I think we've been waiting on one for what? 3 or 4 weeks?
Days.
Yeah, it's been a long time since we saw another leadership coming into Criminal Syndicate, but we got a new one. It's Claw. He is a 5-point model with 7 health on both sides. Side 2, medium movement. His defensive stats are 3 physical, 5 energy, and 3 mystic defense. He's identical on both sides. He has an energy attack called Sonic Blast, range 3, 6 dice. It does give him power for all the damage dealt. It has Wild Suppress, which gives for each wild the target character loses 1. It's not stat power, so he does not gain 1, but they do lose 1 for every wild. And then on a crit wild, they gain stun before damage is dealt. So if you are lucky enough to roll a crit and a wild, just that, they will lose a power, become stunned, and then any damage they're taking is only 1 more. So they will net gain 0. Any extra wilds just further drain them, and that's on his basic attack.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
So this effect already exists in the game. It's called Concussive Force. Why did they change the name of it?
I do not know.
That would make perfect sense for a sound-based attack.
Yeah.
But, okay, go ahead.
Yeah. His next one is another energy attack, Beam 5. 7 dice for 5 power. It has a Wild Pierce, and it removes all size 2 or smaller interactive terrain features it overlaps. So we want to stop and talk about his attacks because I feel like they are something.
Sure.
Okay.
They're like energy, man.
I want to say my favorite thing about this guy. Finally, we were able to take Black Bolt for 5 points. That's really what we've been waiting for a long time now.
Finally,
I know Black Bolt's been a really heavy investment before, so now,
Finally.
Congrats, you can take him for the low cost of 5 points.
Yeah, a little bit less range than Black Bolt, 1 more dice, but no pierce on his basic. His bake is, I feel like his basic is a spender, which is kind of cool. I think it's where a lot of his money is. I feel like his basic is a spender. Somebody can argue with me there, but I feel like it looks like a spender with all the stuff it does.
Well, he's a 5-point model.
Right.
Anyway, obviously Beam 5 with Pierce is cool.
Uh-huh.
Mm.
I don't know. I really like that basic attack. I think that basic attack has a lot of money in it. The fact that it should almost always... it should make your opponent lose power and then might also stun them on top of that. Feels like it's not that hard for this whole kit to work. It builds on itself and gives him power. It doesn't cost him anything. It gives him power. It's good. But everybody's just waiting for me. Keep going. I'm gonna keep going.
I mean, I don't know how. Like,
I'm not very impressed by his basic attack.
I don't get it.
So 6 dice energy. It
Yeah.
will
Okay.
if the roll's a wild, they're losing a power, but they get stunned before damage if you get the crit and the wild.
Uh-huh.
So not only are they not getting power afterwards, so a problem with a lot of the things that take power is if they also deal damage to the character, which is what you want to do with your attack, then they're just getting the power back. Who cares? But this one is specifically stopping you from getting power and taking power. It's doing everything you want, and he doesn't have to do some other shenanigans. He doesn't have to poison you also. He doesn't have to use a power on you also. It's just doing it every time he attacks, and he's getting all the power from it. And it's 6 dice.
So its maximum effect is they have 1 less power than the attack started with, and that only works if the attack fails to deal damage.
No, because you get for every
it's for each, not
for
just
yeah,
once.
yeah,
Okay.
it's for each.
Sure. I guess I just don't see the value of a 5-point model. Its crowning achievement is it can cost your opponent some power. I don't know. I think that's not good.
I think
He's
every
also
Good.
He's also a 5-point model that doesn't do anything turn 1.
For what I think is every other attack in the game, maybe somebody can claim I'm wrong, but every other attack in the game that should, or rather is designed to make your opponent lose power on the net is a spender, right? Except for like sap power on MODOK, which is kind of, but if MODOK does damage, then it doesn't work. But I feel like this one is like Wasp Spender, Hulk's Spender, Penance Stare on Ghost Rider. All of them are designed to actually make you net lose. This one's also designed to make you net lose, but it's on the builder. I feel like that is
But it's not
exceptional.
automatically. It's what
Right.
is a wild? A 20%er?
Mm-hmm.
1 and 8 is like 12%. I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 12.5%.
Well, it's on a crit or a wild, so it's 2 of those. So it's 24% or something,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Well, the odds of getting both of them is
I mean, like it's just it's fairly low. Again, I just it's not exciting. I don't know. Whatever, it's fine. I just hate he's 5 points. I can't get over it.
I do not like this attack. I don't like that it's range 3. 6 dice is good. Stun and lose power is cool, but it's on a frame that I don't like. Like, I don't see this being worth the investment.
So let me chime in real quick with the numbers.
Okay.
The suppressive trigger is 70%. The stun trigger is 45.9. So slightly less than 50% chance to stun them before damage is dealt.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to support Parker a little bit here. I think
Okay.
the attack suite on this character. So first of all, when you take a look at a 5, you can't really analyze any model like the attacks without figuring out what this model's role is. If you see 6 dice builder on a 5, the role has got to be beat face, right? We're talking Thor, Scarlet Witch, Ghost Rider, and these do other things, but these are not. I mean, you could argue Thor is a displacement model, but by and large, these models exist to use their builder attacks, right? That's why they're there.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the more nuanced 5s, like Strange, both versions, had the up, but Cable, Cassandra Nova. Some of these are your more, what do you call it? Toolbox 5s.
Mm-hmm.
So I think as soon as you see that 6, you have to say, okay, this person's going to kill people. I have no problem. Like a 5 that's designed to kill people should be rolling 6 dice. That's great. So now he goes into the comparison bucket of Ebony Maw, Scarlet Witch. You could say Black Bolt because of the reroll, Ghost Rider. All of the other 5s that are rolling 6 dice builders. And I actually think it's pretty good. I agree with Parker.
If we're only looking at the attacks.
Yeah, so I'm like, okay, this is a good attack. I want to see what else the character does to help supplement that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think this is, like, if this is the only reason you're playing him, that's probably bad. But I actually like the attack. I think it's really good.
Let's take a look at the other reasons why you might want to take him. So he is a criminal syndicate leader. We can talk about this in a second, but technically he is. He has the Black Market Entrepreneur. When an allied character is dazed or KO'd after the effect is resolved, Claw may advance short. So this is the first leadership we have that's affecting a model, I think, right? All the others affect the team. This affects him, if his team is affected by dazed or KO'd. He has a superpower called Reconstitute Form. It heals 2 from himself once per turn for 2 power. He has Soundwave Barrier, which is a new unique power. When an enemy character ends their activation within 3 of him, that's activation, not action, he may use the superpower reactively for 3 power. He pushes the enemy character away short. He has Absorb Vibrations. When he's targeted by physical or energy or makes a dodge, he always gains 1 power if he's targeted, so he doesn't have to take damage, unlike some of the other effects that gain extra power. Additionally, he cannot be pushed or advanced by energy attacks, so think like Iron Man's, or enemy superpowers. Mystic movement, like Doctor Strange's, is not affected by Absorb Vibrations. He's immune to a lot of stuff: bleed, incinerate, poison, and shock.
Can we talk for a second about how bizarre his leadership is?
It's odd.
I feel like this is a lot like Winter Guard. I don't think you're intended to play this. I think this is just for the fans of Claw that want to play him as a leader.
Really?
Yeah.
Is there something? Yeah, I was just like, is there something I'm missing? Like, is there
Well-
some sort of weird synergy? Like, what's up here?
So look at how much white space there is at the bottom of this card. If you take out the leadership, that's way too much fucking white space. So they had to put something in there.
You think?
I don't think that's what it is.
It's just like, ew, this card's so white. Ew.
No, so I think it was a thematic choice, kind of like Fearful Symmetry. Perfect example. They don't expect anyone to ever really play the card unless they're just huge fans of the character and want to do the thing they do. And he is clearly a criminal. He is all about the black market and selling technology and stuff. Like, it makes sense. And so I think that's just a thematic choice that isn't really relevant to the game, but it's there if you want it.
I wonder if there's a tactics card or something that follows this up, right? Maybe there's
So-
something crazy.
So I had one. I really sat down in the jank tank for a while today, and I wondered, could this be useful? And the one card that came to mind was Versatile Strategy. The problem with Versatile Strategy is that you have to have a good reason to do it, and I don't know if this is a good reason to do it. If you put it this way, Versatile Strategy could say, if it was a claw card that said, when an allied character's days are KO'd, Claw can advance short. Would you still play that tactics card? Well, maybe not. That might not be a good enough tactics card on Claw. But if you were playing another Criminal Syndicate leader and you wanted to switch to Claws at some point for some reason, you could play Versatile Strategy. I had a weird jank tank idea that is not good. It's a turn 0 kind of idea. So you actually play Versatile Strategy very early in the game this way. Turn 1, start with Claw, and play also Shadowlands Daredevil. Shadowlands Daredevil activates early, before Claw, moves his ninja forward to pick up an extract, immediately teleport it to another character. This would not be very useful in every extract situation. I don't know if this would be useful at all, but if for some reason you had an advantage to do so, you could teleport it to another character. As soon as the ninja disappears, Claw's power activates and he gets a turn 0 move short. Then you could play Versatile Strategy and switch over to Shadowlands Daredevil to get his power for the rest of the game, if you wanted, for some reason, to get Claw up the board early in the game. Basically, you're turning Versatile Strategy into the X-Force card, Cat and Mouse. That's basically what you're doing, which is maybe bad, but maybe usable. I thought of a couple different things you could do with Versatile Strategy and him. Like, maybe this is good in the later game because your models are getting dazed and KO'd later and you don't really care about Kingpin's leadership or something like that later. I don't know why you're playing Call with Kingpin, though. I feel like anytime you're reaching for this affiliation, it must be for some good reason, and I haven't seen it yet. But
I don't think there's a good reason. Like I
Yeah.
said, you are correct though. One of the founding points on this is it's worded similar to Sam's original leadership, and his leadership got ratted 4 times. Each time
Right.
they added a caveat. He doesn't have any of those caveats.
right,
Nor should he.
Yeah. So, but we know from past experiences what situations can cause that.
Mhm.
And so, Bob, for example, dazing himself, like you pointed out, the grunts KOing or dazing themselves, all of that stuff's going to trigger it. Also, keep in mind, all the stuff they added to Sam's leadership is not here, so it doesn't wait till the effect is resolved.
But it says after the effect is resolved. It says it.
Does it?
Yeah, it is.
I just fucking miss it?
Yeah, it says after the effect is resolved.
Oh, it does say
Claw.
after that. Okay, I missed that one. That's my bad.
But it would work with things like sacrifice, so Claw would get to move in the middle of your opponent's turn if they're sacrificed to somebody who dies. Bob is a good person to get sacrificed to. There's a bunch of there are a bunch of funny things you can do to make this happen. But again, is that something that wins the game over, of course, Shadowlands Daredevil or MODOK or Kingpin? I do not know. That's one of the reasons why I tried to imagine there are some situations in which Shadowlands Daredevil and MODOK are not super useful, like at the very early in the game, because you're not committing a lot of your actions to attacks. So maybe it's good very early. But there's a couple ways to trigger it, like you said, Bob.
All right, so how many times would you have to trigger the leadership to make up for the tactics card?
I don't know.
Do you think? Like, I'm trying to think of any reason to get him on the Senate. Like, let's say you did it and you get to advance him twice, which puts him in attack range of the center on turn 1. So he gains 2 actions effectively.
Mhm.
Is that worth a tactic slot?
So X-Force plays cat and mouse. You only need one. So I'm actually with Parker on this. I think that's a viable corner case use.
I would argue that X-Force has less good cards than Criminals.
Well, you're not wrong.
Mm.
I also cannot understate the importance of centerline pressure.
Mhm.
Like being able to put 2 6 dice attacks versus 1, like that may straight up daze a model that can't get away from the midline.
Notably, if he does get to do this and your opponent still has other activations, if he dazes that model who's contesting the point on the center, he dazes them. If he's doing that and so they're taking damage, he has enough power. If somebody else tries to move onto the center point, he just Soundwave barriers them off. So it is he could actually stop multiple characters from getting to the middle or getting to a center line secure by himself with something like his leadership on a Daredevil token. And by the way, when you do the switching during his activation, most likely when he's doing the versatile strategy, switching over to Daredevil, he's getting rerolls to that character who's sitting on the middle. So it's not like which is one of the things he doesn't give himself. It was an idea I had. Is it useful? Is it really great? I don't know, but it is some.
I don't see this model getting played outside of like Researcher.
So I see him getting played as a splash in power generating affiliations. We can talk about that later, but at least tested. Let's put it that way.
Sure.
But if anybody out there is like really, really itching to play versatile strategy, maybe there's something the Claw could do with versatile strategy. Maybe. I sat down for a while. I was like half an hour just staring at the trees going, what could you do?
Okay, so can we talk about his overall kit?
Mm-hmm.
So I said before that his attacks are a reason to take him, and his kit needs to support that. My problem is it doesn't.
Right.
So he is a brawler is the wrong word because of his kit, but he's
Blaster.
a turret. He's like Black Bolt. He's a turret. Like I'm gonna sit here, 6 dice you. I'm gonna get power. I'm gonna beam 5, 7 dice with Pierce. I mean, these are really, really good attacks. Like, okay, what dice mods do you have? And you look back, no, boss, I don't need dice mods. You're like, okay, well, how are you gonna get into position? Surely you have some way to action economy. He's like, nope, I don't need that either. It's overrated. Okay, well, surely 5 threat, model, you're gonna DR. He's like, nope, don't do that either. So I look at everything I want in the model, and he's got none of it. Reconstitute form is fine. Spend 2 power, gain 2, or remove 2 damage. Soundwave barrier is great, but if you're using Soundwave barrier, you're probably not sonic shockwaving. So it's either a spender or pushing other models.
Right.
And then real quick, I'll finish up. His absorb vibrations. So if you just put a bunch of 4 and 5 dice attacks into him, he's going to get super powered up and he's going to be able to do his kit. But why don't you just ignore this guy? Like, what if I never attack him? Like, if he whiffs a Sonic Blast turn 1, what's he going to do? Like, move and try it again turn 2? If he whiffs then? He has power to do jack all.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my issue. He's got a range 3 attack with no dice mods. And his abilities are great, either his spender or superpowers. But unless you're attacking him, he has no way to spend for them. He becomes very Thor-like in terms of I either get the power train rolling or I don't. And if I don't, I have no way to get back on that train. I'm just watching as the game goes by me. I can't.
That was actually going to be one of my points. Soundwave barrier sounds amazing, but you realize if you use it like early or often, then you don't have a target, right? Like that means you're anti-action economying yourself.
Oh yeah.
Also.
That is
because he only has range 3.
Well, it's great if you have the extract advantage and you're turtled, and the opponent's like, "Well, shit, I have to come into you." He's just like, it's perfect synergy in pushing all of your opponents away.
Sure, but I mean, he's got to get the power to use it, and so it's just weird.
Right.
It's clearly his best ability, in my opinion, Soundwave barrier.
Yep.
And so, but there's a lot of ways to stop it. You can backstop against objects or even your own models. A lot of people can't be pushed by superpowers nowadays. It is sizeless, which is nice. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that's worth it. He seems like just an overcost. He's basically a 5-point version of Cyclops, and so his biggest comparison is probably Black Bolt. I think Black Bolt's noticeably better than this guy.
I don't know about that.
How is he better than Black Bolt? Is it just because he's got the little bit of board control?
I was gonna say just a little bit of board control, probably. But Black Bolt does kill things by himself a lot harder. Black Bolt turns his excellent offense into more excellent offense very quickly. Actually, this guy doesn't really turn it into more excellent offense. I guess unless you count the beam as more excellent offense.
Yeah, it's because he has the reconstitute form Soundwave Barrier. So I think that is
So-
straight up better than Black Bolt's anti-graviton field, the reconstitute form.
Healing
So
2 is better than 2 extra dice.
In
I'm not going to
general.
argue hard against that.
Okay.
Sure.
But
and then go ahead.
5 dice range 4 Pierce versus 6 dice range 3 no Pierce. And Black Bolt's got a reroll, and he can pump his attack dice by 2. So now you're looking at a higher range, higher dice, and Pierce on a builder that rolls into itself.
I think Black Bolt has higher offensive potential. Absolutely.
Hmm.
You counter that with the Soundwave Barrier, which, as you said, is the reason to play Claw.
I think it's his best ability. I don't think it's a reason to play him.
Well,
Like
if
you have to be playing a very weird list to where that is like the only board control. For 5 points, that was the board control you thought you needed. That's really weird.
So I'm with you. I do not like this model
Mhm.
in a competitive standpoint, right? So I am totally on board with this model is below the curve for a 5 and it does not represent what I want my 5s to be. I'm just trying to kind of play a little devil's advocate to see where people might see a use for him. I will absolutely try him out. Again, I said in a power generating affiliation like A-Force or Red Skull Cabal, plenty of others.
You don't feel like that's like a redundancy because he already has so many power generating effects?
He's only got one power generating effect, I guess.
Well, I mean, but it's when he is attacked or dodges. And
Again,
he has
why would you, if you
quality
see this
build
guy
back.
across from you, why would you ever attack him?
Well, but by that justification, if he's an immortal model, then that has its own value. And I don't think he is. I think he does get attacked. I think he actually dies. Like he's like 14 hit points on that frame is not that impressive.
So I think you wait until he's got some power and he is gone, and then you're like, okay, now you die.
Yeah.
Right? 3 physical, 7. So I think you ignore him to a point, and then you pivot, and then you just, daze him. Not trivially with 7 health, but pretty easily.
Yeah, you cautiously attack him. You don't just like free fire into him.
Well, I don't think you attack him at all for like the first 2-ish turns. And then you unload on him.
Realistically, I don't think it matters, honestly. I think if you're putting him on the board, then you're basically handicapping yourself. So I don't really think it matters what your opponent attacks.
Anyways.
I mean, there's some good stuff in his kit, but like you said, I don't think it synergizes well. He seems to be like an overcosted like control-y blaster that is not good.
He's got some weird anti-Malekith tech. That sound wave barrier thing is pretty nasty against Malekith.
No, it's at the end of his It's at the end of his activation, not his movement.
Oh yeah,
So yeah, Malekith just eats
that's
him.
not great.
Yeah.
That sucks. That's not good at all. Never mind.
Yeah, it's like, so I thought you meant the 5 energy, and so
I mean, that's good, sure, but I was looking at the other
Yeah.
thing. It's like, oh,
His-
yeah, never mind.
So it will cause your opponent to like absolutely have to figure out how they're going to play around it. Like, oh, I'm just going to attack here and sit on the point. You're like, think again. And those types of abilities can be more beneficial than they look on paper, even though we know it's good, just because of like the Loki tax of how much it strains what they want to do. And instead of having a plan, they just keep coming back to their MCP habit patterns, which are attack you, throw you off, sit on the point. And like, I can't do that. Like 30 seconds go by and they come back to, what if I move here, throw off the point? Oh, I can't do it again. Right? So I think someone
wonder if
barrier could be super frustrating to play against that you don't even know as the opponent.
I wonder if he'd be better in like Steve. Like, I wonder if Soundwave Barrier at cost 2 would be oppressive. I don't think so, but maybe.
Again,
because then you like couldn't really kill him, right? Also,
You can kill because it's in the activation. Like you get all your activation to try to kill.
no,
him.
I meant because Steve could protect him.
Right. I see. Yeah.
Because he's too hard to kill with like random like collisions and stuff. Like he's got too many hit points for that. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not overly impressed. I think his attack is subpar because he doesn't have action economy. The number of attacks he'll get in a game, I don't think will equate well to him being an offensive piece. Because like Ghost Rider's faster than him and has action economy, and like as great as his Shockwave is, the 7 dice attack with Pierce, like that does not mean that he's going to be one-shotting people by any means.
yeah, look at how many turret 5s get played these days.
Mm-hmm.
0. Like, Black Bolt, Scarlet Witch. I think Scarlet Witch is a very good comparison.
Yeah, like just think of how many models in the game, like he's fucking size 2. How many models in the game are just going to walk up to him and throw him and just laugh when he's not in position anymore?
Yep. Don't attack him, throw him. And then
Yeah.
after you get some power, you're like, okay, now I kill you. That's how I would.
I don't even
play
know that you
against
need to kill him. Just throw it. Was he going to walk up and roll 1 6-die attack at you? Like, I don't care. Like, he does the beam. That's annoying. Again, like, average damage is only, like, what, fucking 3.5 damage?
Until it's not, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can obviously spike it, but you can also blank out.
He is awkward.
Anyway, anybody have anything final to say about him?
I'm glad he's not turned up higher. As soon as I saw,
I mean, yeah,
as soon as I saw he was 5 points, I was like, oh no, please
that
don't,
really surprised
please
me.
don't make him MODOK for some reason. Like that's the first thing I thought. I was like, oh, okay, all right, sure.
What a fucking year we're living in. MODOK comes out 2 months ago and costs 4 points. Claw comes out today and costs 5.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah. That is one thing I learned about this. I am no longer even trying to guess because that surprised the shit out of me. I was like,
But you are trying to bet.
I will bet. I will bet lots.
I will not guess, however I will bet. Fucking Christ. I'm so glad you don't read the Discord sometimes.
I read all the Discord. I just don't respond.
I don't think you do.
Oh, I do.
Okay.
Very constantly. I choose not to respond to the heckling of the.
That's okay. He doesn't know. We're moving on. All right. So our topic today, we're going to be reviewing some 4-pointers in Sitting in Judgment. I have a whole list of all of the 4-pointers currently in the game. There are 51 of them, I believe, by our recollection. Oh boy. I wonder how many Mark IV Sentinels are going to make the list.
How many can
Should
you
we
take?
count?
2?
2.
Both of them.
Alrighty. So, much as we did with our 5-point installment, we're going to go one by one. We're going to call out one of the 4-pointers in the game that we like as a drop-in character in the vacuum, not with specific synergies, just in general. We believe that they should be considered in a lot of lists for a lot of different reasons. And we'll go over those. So, first up, we have Parker.
I'm going to start hot with a real hot take. Because I'm actually a convert to this guy. If you go back way back when to like episode 2, I really didn't like this guy, and then
Attack the Clones.
Yeah, then you had me examine him and play with him, and I am a huge convert, and I look at him all the time. Is Black Dwarf.
Oh boy, here we go.
And I still think to this day he is relevant. He's got a ton of health with damage reduction and a big stat line in the places that you like it. He's got a 6-die attack. And
he's a thick boy.
Yeah, he's got a 6-die attack that builds. His spender is a little bit longer range, plenty of dice, not too expensive, crit stagger. He's got the big throw. He's got a movement-ish action economy where if he does move, he can add some extra dice if he has power. So it is actually, in terms of dice gainer for an attack, it's strong because most powers that add 2 cost 3, and his only costs 2, but it does cost an action as well. But if he needs to move, it's just a net gain. And the biggest,
right, so just anyone not familiar, it gives him a move action and adds dice to his next attack. So
right.
it's like I don't know where it's like a half charge. It's weird.
Mm-hmm. But the biggest thing, the thing that you should not sleep on, is intimidating presence on a large base. The ability to taunt off of that large base is huge because he only taunts within 2 of himself, but it is such a large area. I have seen people before get really surprised by how much of an engagement I could cover with a Black Dwarf in the middle of the board, and he just doesn't want to fall down fast enough. So I actually really like him in a lot of other factions. In Black Order, he does some cool stuff, but I think he's even stronger in other factions that need something that he does. Super efficient, stocky tank that does more damage.
My, how the turntables have switched around themselves.
Yeah.
Okay, May 24th, 2023, the day our podcast lost all credibility.
All right, so I think that my opinion at the time was well-founded. I think that this one is less well-founded, but still, I think is relevant. And I think specifically when you pair him with things that fix his really only problem of mobility, he is a problem for a lot of lists, and most people don't realize that because he is so seldomly played.
I want to play Midnight Sun so I can play this guy. That's one of the things I want to do because I feel like that
So
is so good.
he's like this weird alternate reality rhino. It's just he gives up all of the mobility for more damage and taunt. It's just weird.
I think he is a great example of how groupthink just passes over something that's an incredible value. If this game is about just like stats for points, what it does for points, he has got to be high up there. He's got to be. But people ignore him.
He's the highest concentration of stats on a single card. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, next up we have Jeremy.
I'm still spinning from that one.
You guys can all be wrong. I'm fine with that.
Don't worry, there's some softballs still on the list. Parker left them for you.
Oof. I'll take a softball. Beta Ray Bill is never the wrong idea. He's never wrong to play Beta Ray Bill. He comes with 2 power. He can throw size 4s. He's a medium base. He moves medium. He has damage reduction, kind of, sort of, by paying 1. He can do the middle line grab with Eyes on the Prize. He basically does everything that every list basically wants and needs. Nothing bad about that guy. 4 points.
He is the reason you can't take Black Dwarf.
Dun, 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 dun.
Unless you want Black Dwarf pinballing into your team all game long.
True enough.
You're not wrong. The only reason I think to take Black Dwarf is specifically things like Mal. When they keep adding 7-costers in the game, it's nice to take a hit as opposed to be hit. And that's true. But
if Mal didn't have a throw on his ferocity, I'd agree with you.
I was going to
Once
say,
again.
you just eat him. Like,
Well-
you just...
Okay, so I actually disagree with this. You can play around your own models being thrown much easier than a lot of people think you can. You have to put them in positions where there's not obvious throw lanes. Like standing on the opposite side of a size 1 terrain, like, backing up against something, there's a lot of stuff you can do. You can have models that are either resistant or immune to throws yourselves, like models that, like Ebony Maw, who can just prevent it. Put him there, and they're in the same affiliation. Like, there are ways to easily deal with that problem. Like, certainly, especially if you know your opponent's stuff, don't put them within that throw range. Like, there's a lot of stuff you can do.
So I'll give Parker a little bit of credit here. So I think Black Dwarf's an intriguing pick. I just don't think he's good for the current meta. How about that?
Beta Ray though is a super strong choice. Is it? Maybe this is something I've puzzled playing against him a lot. Is paying 4 points for a extract vault, is that worth it? Because that's fun.
The
I
meta
feel like
thinks it is.
I feel like that's what it is. That's what
he
he
does
is.
absolutely everything, though. That's the problem. There's
Oh.
nothing he doesn't do well.
I actually
I have not seen him kill things, but maybe I'm wrong.
he's not great at it, but because he doesn't die, he gets infinite opportunity to kill stuff, and eventually you spike. He's also specifically good versus select models like flight stuff. Squishy flight models he's amazing against, which actually exist a lot more than people realize.
True.
Like Sam, for example, you just fucking laser beaming Sam every turn. It's really hard for him to deal with.
And unless you're a Logan, basically, as a 4-cost model, most 4-cost models just fight toe-to-toe with him. Like, it doesn't really, 4-costers don't necessarily beat each other to death unless you are Psylocke or Logan. I mean, there's only a handful of them that do that anyway. He just kind of punches, they punch, whatever. He has damage reduction, so it's fine.
He's especially good into the big boy meta because of his size 4 throw and damage reduction.
Yeah.
He has poor action economy, and to Parker's point, he is not very offensive. He's on the low end of 4s for damage output. But the rest of his kit, the 2 power, the medium base, medium move, the size 4 throw, damage reduction, and great defensive stat lines, 4-4-3, is just solid, super solid.
He has a cape.
And he's got a cape.
I mean,
Space
and a
Horse.
Face.
Yeah.
Space Horse.
So many people think that he is size 3 because of the fucking cape.
Oh man, that size 2 being able to get cover as well on most things. You're like,
Mhm.
oh man, I'm sorry.
Parker, for me to answer your question, I do not think he's worth 4 points and a tactic slot as a victory point vault. The meta, the community as a whole, disagrees with me, but that's my opinion. I do not think the Eye on the Prize, plan A, is a good idea. But I know that a lot of people disagree with me, and they have success with it. It's just my opinion.
So
Um,
I
I
played the game.
think taking Bill is super good, and having that as an option in specific matchups, yes, is good. But I see a lot of people force it, and it just like it's not worth it in that. Go ahead, Aaron.
So specific example, I'm playing Hellfire today with Spider Infected. Like I want to grab this center Spider Infected and get out of dodge because I'm playing against A-Force. So I definitely don't want to like grab it and sit there, right? That's bad. I know what happens. I in my list have two options. I either have Angela or Bill with eyes. They both accomplish that game plan. So when I'm looking at my list creation, it comes down to do I want a 4 and a 3 and a tactics card spot, or the 5 and the 2 and the slot for something else. I played it both ways. In that specific game, I went with Bill because I really wanted my 3-pointer as opposed to my 2-pointer.
Mhm.
So I think that type of flexibility, like I have a goal that my list needs to be able to accomplish, and I happen to have the character flexibility to allow that to be either a 4 or a 5.
I completely agree that is a good strategy to have. And that's what I was saying earlier. Like, I think that's actually smart. But I see so many people go, okay, well, my list is whatever minus Bill and eyes because I played this in every single mission. I'm like, you are wasting so much opportunity that your list could be doing because they just think they see it online and they see other people do it and they think it's a fucking requirement. And I think it actually slows a lot of people down.
Yeah, I played against a Guardians player. I can't remember who it was, but I was like, why did he do that? He didn't need to do that. There were lots of ways to pick up that extract point, but he's just hiding with Bill, and I'm winning because he spent 4 points on something that will not contribute at this game except for 1 victory point a turn.
And because they just hear this online, like they hear it in podcasts, they see it in battle reports, and they walk up, they pick up, they walk directly backwards, and guess what? You just gave up a 4-point model because he's never going to get back in the fucking fight. And it's just like, oh my gosh, like you guys are handicapping yourselves.
Well, to your point, even more so, you see people, even at our game store will do this. They'll play that, and they will take that when they don't even have priority, and there's not even a middle extract.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what in the fuck is happening?
It's because of like hyperbole, like fear mongering online.
Yeah.
Where people are like, well, if you're not doing this, you're losing, and they just take it to heart, and it's not true. Like
it's like,
but like Aaron was saying,
it's not even
a
the
perfect
point.
situation. I'm playing against A-Force. Their sole goal is to punish the middle. That's like the way their affiliation works, and they can do other stuff. Like that's goal 1, as Parker's shown many people.
Yeah,
and so it's like, yes, in that exact situation, you have priority against A-Force on like, I don't know, Montesi, 1,000,000%. You play eyes and Bill, you take the middle, and you walk 100% straight back to your deployment zone. Like, that is exactly correct.
GTFO.
But outside of those situations, it's like I played against Tyler last Thursday, and he did the same thing. He's like, all right, I walk up here, I pick up this thing, I back up, and I'm like, okay, well, you're down a tactics card and a 4-point character. I guess I win for free. Like, it was dumb. Like, it's like, and it's not like Tyler is dumb. Like, he's just doing what people are telling him to do. But it's like, I don't know. People are so terrified to do anything outside of the meta right now. And it really is annoying.
It is silly. I agree.
Anyway, so Aaron, you're up for your 4-pointer.
Okay, my 4-pointer of choice that you should be thinking about in your list, regardless of affiliation, is Crimson Dynamo.
Son of a bitch.
That felt personal.
Oh my god, this guy
He's
is
terrible.
amazing.
Don't take him. No, he's
Yeah.
not. He's the worst.
Excuse me.
Garbage.
I'll be honest. I think
Not-
every list probably gets better with this model in it. Notice I said list, not squad. His ability to impact your opponent's game plan is huge because he turns off triggers by forcing them to reroll their dice. He also just shocks your army. So if you're wanting to, obviously, if your game plan is to attrit or aggro, you don't need him, right? If your game plan is to win on control and survive, he's amazing. His entire kit, DR, the beam shock. He has a cost 2 place that lets him then set up his beam. So if he starts the turn with 2 power, he uses it. He sets up his beam. Usually gets at least 4 power back from beaming 2 people, and then spends those 4 power twice to turn off other people's triggers or their attack dice. And that's on top of a very tanky 4-3-4, I think, are his defenses with DR. Super solid support model. Now, he does not kill people because he has 0 ways to increase his offensive output. So, again, don't take him and be like, oh, I'm going to beam 4 people and kill them all. It might happen because dice spike, but with 5 dice, no way to increase it, no mods, you're taking him purely for his defensive aspects and shock output.
Yep, totally agree. Not enough people have tried him, and most people don't realize that you have to have a game plan against him. He's one of the models that will completely turn the game on its head if you let him do his thing. Much like, well, I guess we'll talk about those other models later. Like MODOK, if you just let MODOK do what he's going to do, that's bad. You should not do that. You should do everything you can to stop MODOK from doing his thing. Same thing with like Immortal Hulk and Malekith. If you just let them run wild, you will lose. So you need to have a plan for how to deal with Crimson Dynamo. Either throw him out of range, attack from outside range 3, make them spread out, don't let them turtle up, like limit the number of people he can affect with his dispersion field, and then you have a chance. But if you just attack into him all day long, you are going to lose.
What's kind of interesting about him is he's the kind of model that everybody loses to once, like the first time, because they go, I'm just going to do my strategy of all ganging up on the middle or whatever. And you're like, he just goes, nope, your whole army loses offensive output for the rest of the game. You're like, okay, well, I'm never letting that happen again. And so, a savvy player will then change their mind. So the first time, go ahead and, take the auto win because you played Crimson Dynamo. The second time, if you're excited to play Crimson Dynamo, it's because you're also excited for them to spread out, right? Which is one of the things that kind of the passive thing that Aaron was talking about. If you like a control style game plan where it's a lot of one-on-one, but I'm better at controlling you than you're better at killing me one-on-one, then you're going to get a passive benefit from Dynamo being on the field because your opponent will be nervous to group up. It's not that every single secure and extract situation likes Dynamo, but he does have this passive thing of, God, I've seen what Dynamo does to my offensive output. I'm never going to bunch up.
He works really well in wide aggro teams too, like Shield. Would probably do very well in Guardians. You just play him on ease. If you get Demons Gamma Researcher, you bring Dynamo and profit.
Yeah. All right. Next up is me. I'm going to do something to let you guys still have some stuff left on the table. I'm going to say Venom. I absolutely love Venom. He has a lot of fun, intricate play in a lot of different lists. He brings specific tools to the table, which are nice, and Lethal Protector is always a fun splash in a lot of lists. He's not an absolute powerhouse, and he's somewhat dice dependent, but I think that he adds just as much value outside of his dice that he does with the psychological don't attack me or I'll randomly kill you like situations. I know everyone here has experienced that because we all play in the same group, but I know there's a lot of people out there probably haven't played a lot of games against Venom. I think he's a lot of fun, and I think he's worth putting on the table.
Webline is unlimitedly powerful.
Web Snare.
Oh, sorry. Web Snare. Yeah, Web Snare is super strong.
He also throws up to size 3. The biggest problem you'll probably notice with him is that he doesn't have action economy, and he is power hungry. But if you put him in the right spot, people will basically be forced to attack him, which will feed you. So.
Yeah, he's one of the rare characters in the game that's totally cool by taking it on the chin. Like, he's totally fine with it. He's like, please, just don't one-shot me, and I will do so many things you won't appreciate. If you've ever played against him, he's another one of those guys that every single time I look at a Venom, I go, okay, I do a cost-benefit analysis. If I use my action to attack a Venom, does it totally ruin my whole round? Because he might attack back and daze something. He might heal to come back to full right then, and then I give him some power. He's pulling stuff. He's throwing stuff. Like, it's. Do
you mind if I share your worst moment of Venom?
Sure. I remember this is the Hydra story when you played Hydra.
Yeah.
Oh
so
my God,
Logan, the Wolverine, did a Tornado Claw hitting 3 or 4 members of my team. And then he decided to intentionally not attack Venom first because that would be stupid. So then I played Lethal Protector on the beam. The first attack went into Venom. Venom lived on 1 and then attacked back with We Are Venom and dazed Logan in the middle of his beam where he was hitting 3 more people. And then basically won the entire game for me.
Yep. And then you got to play Sacrifice again later.
And that's still a sacrifice on the table too, because of course he healed to full off of the fucking We Are Venom counterattack. So if you have anyone who can give him an extra power, bringing Web Snare online on turn 1, I see a lot of people play him with Steve just so you can Web Snare on the first turn. It's absolutely ridiculous to be able to move people medium on the first turn. All right, Next up is going to be Parker again.
I'm going to go with one that I don't think you guys have got to try very much, but I've got to play her a lot, and I found that there's not really a bad situation for her, and that's Spider-Woman. Spider-Woman it's her toolkit. She's kind of like Barry Bill. She is definitely a scenario piece that's going to give you a mission advantage. But one of the cool things about her is she doesn't mind being in the thick. She doesn't mind grabbing things and running away. She's got a kit for every situation. A wall crawler plus move long plus stealth and a auto dropping attack means that if you give her some power, she'll just grab the extract and run away. On her backside, she's not securing so well anymore. Well, she'll just score. If she's in the middle of a scrum, she'll interrogate somebody and get you an extra victory point that way. I think I played a tournament with her, and I played her on every single game because sometimes she was getting extracts, sometimes she was interrogating. I think she interrogated I played her 4 rounds. I think she interrogated 10 times, something like that. She gets more if you can make her stuff a little bit cheaper, because giving her the movement for one or giving her power to do the movement lets her set up the rest of her kit a little bit better. But the fact that she moves herself and martial artist with a great stat line, she just has kind of premium everything for I just want to play this game with +2 victory points. Spider-Woman kind of does that, either through interrogate or intoxicating blast or both. I've seen her score because of her kit 4 victory points in a game. When my opponent was suffering too. It's nice. She's doubling down, right? They're dying. She's getting more for their death. They're dropping the extract. They're losing extract. She's gaining the extract and running away faster than they can chase her. Really great kit for I want to win one scenario.
I concur.
Yeah, she has a really solid kit. A lot of things about her just are perfect.
One of the things I found most fascinating is I want to brawl. Okay, Spider-Woman. You're like, oh, I want to steal scenarios. Okay, Spider-Woman. It's she does. She feels at home in lots of places.
So her weakest attribute is offensive, right?
Mhm.
If you want to take a look at her offensive attacks, she's got a 5 dice builder that puts out some conditions.
Right.
A spender that's appropriately costed. It's not great. It's totally fine. But for offensive output, she's she's very meh, right? She's below the top of the bell curve for a 4. So you take her for everything else.
Mm-hmm.
You take her for her incredible mobility, her above average defenses, interrogate.
She makes a great partner for big guys, I've found. Because people want to attack the big guy, they can't give her a lot of attention, and she will survive a little attention with all of her cool defensive tech. And so the big guy will knock things down, and then she'll interrogate off of it. She's not going to one-on-one things as well, but she can. That requires some really nice dice, and you may not want to leave yourself open to that. But what she's really nice with is pairing up with a big friend.
So I've loved her for a long time, and I played her Kingpin earlier in the year. I'm gonna make a statement that might be controversial, so get ready to rip me a new one.
Mm-hmm.
I have come to realization is the wrong word. A potential assessment that I need, especially my 4s, to absolutely be able to put someone in the dirt. Like we're talking, rounds 3 or 4. Because a lot of the models, whether they're 3, 4, or 5 threat, are able to accomplish so much right now. We'll talk about Logan in a little bit, but if you let Logan live in the middle of your army with 4 power, heaven help you, you're just dead. So there are a lot of times I realized in games recently when I just need a model to die. I will give you another tidbit. I've been playing Shield recently, and I've incorporated Sam into my Shield list because I run Helios Laser, Ricochet Blast, and Bird of Prey. So bottom line, I have lots of abilities to just reach out and fucking kill you whenever I need to. Spider-Woman doesn't give you that, so she's fell off of my auto includes the wrong word, but I don't play her a lot anymore.
And you're saying specifically 4-pointer because the 3s can't accomplish that.
Right. So Sam can with, in that particular list. But yes, right. There are a lot of times when if I don't have a specific tech piece like Iron Man Sam together with those cards, if I'm just looking at a model that I might need to include in my squad, a lot of times it's a 4. And we'll get to some of the more powerhouse killy 4s in a little bit. But I think that's the slot she's competing in is I need someone who can kill. Okay, my one model that I can absolutely rely on is not Spider-Woman, so I will have to pick model Y.
Cool. The only thing I'll disagree with is I found that oftentimes I'm looking right now in the minute I'm seeing right now is I go, oh shit, Incredible Hulk has that thing. Fuck, I do not want to have to kill Immortal Hulk. Sorry, I don't want to kill Hulk. Gah. Oh, Spider Woman.
Well, I mean, it's not
Like-
exclusive to her, but
Right.
definitely Steelers are important, and that's good that she has that as a tool.
Right, is I don't have to put it down. If the reason I have to put it down is they're holding extracts, then I don't have to put it down. If I have 3 power on her. So that's one of the reasons why because I have not played very many Steelers. Black Cat somewhat, but I have not played that many Steelers. And the fact that she drops all extract is also kind of cool because Black Cat will steal something, but she's not nearly as survivable as Spider Woman in my opinion. So she's definitely not as survivable. So if you like Black Cat, if you're willing to spend one more point, I think you'll like Spider Woman even more.
Yeah. Well, Miles has a very similar effect, but yeah. Anyway, Jeremy, you're up.
We will go all the way back to the starter box. Let's go to the
boy.
OG
I
Black
wonder.
Panther.
Oh yeah.
He'll pretty much drop into any list. He can fight real good, and he can have real good defenses as long as you're not swinging Mystic at him. And he's a long mover, and he can leap before anybody else could leap. He knew what that was about. So he could do lots and lots of damage. Yeah, he really doesn't have anything that is kind of a negative. Aside from he doesn't have like all the extra bells and whistles that fours tend to have these days. He kind of has like, I don't know, kind of a almost he's got leap, and he can do a little bit more attack, and he has a little bit more defense, and that's kind of what he's got, and he moves long.
Yeah.
You know, but it's really, really good. His kit is super good.
Yeah, I don't know that they really could have given him anything else.
No,
but he's
no.
already so good.
And his later, yeah. So
I do feel like I have to say something. He's not in the starter box.
oh crap, he's not.
He just came out like 2 weeks
he
later or
was,
something.
yeah,
He
he's
did.
not even wave 1. He was wave 2.
Really?
Yeah, it was Hulk,
man.
MODOK, and the core set was launch, and then the first expansion was Wakandans plus Venom.
Oh, huh. Well,
Yep.
there you go.
Awkward.
You probably didn't get to play that many
Awkward.
games of FCP before he came out, though. So that's something going for you.
That's true.
He came out pretty
That-
fast.
No, we
I got that.
definitely played. We definitely played like 20 games before he came out.
I got dementia.
Yeah. Anyway, probably the biggest downside of him is that there's a lot more mystic attacks available nowadays
Yeah.
than there used to be. But even still, he's still quite good.
The thing is, like, if anybody attacks him and he does end up getting some power, they'll get exploded back. Like, he will murder the shit out of them right back. Like, he hits so
Oh, yeah.
hard.
Yeah, it's
He's scary.
yeah, it is strange that if you Mantle of the Black Panther is fucking nuts. Like as a power. For 2 power, you'll re-roll all your attack dice for the rest of that turn. You're like, that's not a thing you can give a character.
can't
Like
do that.
that's terrible. That's amazing. And it's funny that there's a little bit of scornergy is if you're using a strike, it'll put you out of range maybe unless you push somebody into something. But even then, like you just push them into something that they can't push through, and then you're fine. Yeah, just if I've had 2 power on Black Panther before, and you just daze somebody. You want to talk about somebody just I wanted somebody to daze somebody. Black Panther can totally do that. On top of auto pushing stuff size 3 or less on his basic.
I remember one of the guys playing Thanos in Wakanda at LVO. He had his plan was when Black Panther gets dazed, he'll flip over with like 8 or 10 power, and then he'll do the kinetic burst boosted up to 9 dice, plus Mantle of Black Panther, plus Death's Decree, going to 13 dice with full rerolls on somebody. It's like, ow! And it's energy. It's like, what
Oh
the
my
fuck,
God.
man?
Well,
It was pretty funny.
he was one of the first models you could channel Fireball. Like, it was like, how much power do you have? Just cram that through. Like, you
Yeah.
could spend whatever you wanted. It was crazy.
Alrighty. So let's see. That was Jeremy. So Aaron,
Okay, I'm going to take the lowest hanging fruit and go with Logan the Wolverine.
how dare you?
You
Yep.
wanted it.
So I haven't actually played him a whole lot. I played him in X-Men, super good there. I think this model is probably in the discussion for the best 4 in the game.
Judas.
Mhm.
Judas.
But he does one thing, and he just murders the world. So he's rolling 5 dice pierce or 7 dice beam pierce that are each +2 with rerolls as long as he's not around his team. So you kind of need to play him a little differently than some of your other characters. You can either use him on a flank to just own a flank. But I fought against him with like Lizard, and it's not even fair. Like he just owns Lizard, kills him, steals the extract, throws Lizard off. He does incredible damage output. He has displacement, healing factor 2, and immune to stun. Like you can't stop his power gain. And you better one round him, or he's just going to heal it back and come at you again. He has access to exceptional healing, so it's super hard to take off the board. His only weakness, quote unquote only, is his Mystic Defense. And his action economy is tied to being able to be within range 3 to then place after an attack. So if he's not inside range 3 to begin with, he's got to spend a move action. I am very excited to make this model the centerpiece of some future builds as I actually start to play Weapon X or even X-Force. But this model should absolutely be in consideration for your list because of how on the powered side of the bell curve he is for a 4 with the damage output he does.
Mm-hmm. I very much just like this model. But it's mostly just because I felt like they tried to work, like, it's obvious based on his kit, they tried to write in negatives for him because they knew he was overtuned. But, like, the negatives are really nothing. Like, they're very easy to play around because they're, like, intuitive, like, right? Like, he doesn't want to be near friendlies. So, like, the fact that he damages nearby friendlies really doesn't matter that much because he's already trying to stay away from them. The fact that he places after dice mods, and so even if you do have to place within range of a friend, you get your mods before you place. Like, that's dumb. Like, it's just a lot of stuff, and he's clearly overtuned, and so that's why I don't like him.
And when he damages people, when you attack him with a Mystic near his friends, they get power, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so it's a fucking nightmare. It's a trap. I've tried it.
It
I've tried it
says they get
several
power?
times. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a fucking
I
trap.
didn't even know they got power.
Yeah.
That's silly.
So
It's a
turn
fucking
1,
trap.
you just put him forward. Someone shoots him. You're like, oh, you just did advanced R&D for my entire team.
Well, not quite, but yeah.
Yeah, I thought I was being clever,
Mm.
and I've tried to nuke him with several Mystic attacks, and suddenly I powered up an entire team. I was like, oh no.
Yeah, I cannot tell you how happy I am that he's not 7'5" and he's 6'6". Like, I'm so happy that he's 6'6". Because there's been so many times that I've gotten him dead, like, exactly. And I'm like, if he had 7 on the front, it'd be so much harder to one-round him. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. He clearly has too much. Same with X-23. But I don't know if they'll ever do anything about it because he's such a fan favorite.
If they're gonna have a best like murder in the game, I can live with it being Wolverine.
But so is it okay that he, like, someone's got to be the best? I'm not
Yep.
upset with him being the best. But my problem is that he just has all the stuff. It's like, what else could you fucking give him that wouldn't just make him obviously broken? It's like, I don't like idiot proof models where it's just like, you get everything you could ever want. Don't worry. And I'm like, well, but then why do all these other people have holes? If you're just going to make a model that doesn't have a hole.
It's funny, but I have actually I haven't got to play against him many times. I've just missed him somehow, and I think it's because people do not take him out of faction. People kind of strap him directly to X-Men or Weapon X, and they're like, "Oh, he's so good." They're like, "Well, why don't you play him in other places?" We're trying to argue that he is, but I don't see people doing it. And so when I play against X-Men and they play him, I haven't seen him kill the world. Or, if funnily enough, the one time he did, he placed himself like out of position of winning the game. So I was like, oh, because he had to move, right? So I don't think he is idiot proof. I think you actually have to have a game plan and feel like you know what he does. Now, what I'm saying is, do you have to be smart? No, but I do not think he's idiot proof. I think you can play him out of the game accidentally, either by removing his rerolls or by putting him in a position where he shouldn't be because he has to place. There are things that you can do to ruin him, because I've seen people do it accidentally, and then they lost the game because of how they used Wolverine and the fact that he murdered himself into a corner, and then that was it.
So yeah, I'm really excited to play Thanos Weapon X. Oh,
I'm very unexcited by that.
okay. I was gonna double move Logan straight toward your back E. I'll have Prio because I'm playing super tall. Logan is just gonna X slash with Death Decree and then Tornado Claw your entire team. Top of 2. Oh yeah, it's gonna happen.
Okay. I don't know that Death Decree is actually that great on him, of all people.
So he's gonna need the 2 power or the 2 dice to make sure he gets 2 extra power with his X slash, so that he has 4 for Tornado Claw.
So why don't you just use Baron
No matter
Mordo?
the cost.
Just Baron Mordo.
Oh, yeah. That's,
Because after they get done dealing with Logan, they have Space Rowdy Thanos to clean up the rest of the shit.
okay. Hey, it can't be as bad as actually playing Weapon X, the affiliation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
Your turn, Brayden.
I'm gonna go with the model that's better designed. Apex Predator.
Oh, you took mine. I'm excited. Go ahead.
Really? Oh, I was just waiting for somebody else to say Logan. This is what my opinion of Logan is. So I posted the whole list of characters, and then I pulled all the ones I was planning on naming down below the list, so I wouldn't forget them. And I didn't even bother pulling Logan because I knew one of you guys was going to take him. So anyway, Apex Predator. The reasons I like Sabretooth Apex Predator. I love the fact that he can throw in both ways. He can throw himself and he can throw another model as an action. And I like that he has lots of cool options in him despite having a fairly simple kit. And I like that you have to kind of choose, like his spender is really only there for when you're in very specific situations. I don't know. But if anyone has never played Sabretooth, the ability to throw enemies and then throw yourself, it creates a lot of interesting lines of play. Your order of actions on your character matter a lot. And so I feel like a good Sabretooth player can get a lot more mileage out of him than someone who hasn't had a lot of experience.
One of the things that I know Jeremy talks about a lot is he really loves when Immortal Hulk just like starts rolling wilds and just like roofs a whole team. Apex Predator can do that. Like he can just, oh look, I rolled a wild on my claw slash and I did 3 damage. Here I go. Like I'm about to do way, way, way more than I should. A 4-point model should.
You mean because he rolls the power and
Right,
using his abilities?
right. So he rolls the pierce.
Not that his attacks are going to explode.
No,
people, but yeah.
You know, his attacks don't kill people. It's that he rolls up to get the power he needs as soon as he gets that 6 power. As soon as he has it, after whatever actions he does. And you can have it any time. You can primal pounce first, 3 power. Then you're in there. Then you slash twice, get 3 more, and now you're throwing also. Like he's doing so much, and he throws himself at a size 3. He throws medium. Throws himself medium. Like what an
What a
amazing.
man.
Yeah,
He's so beefy.
It is by far the best pounce in the game. Not even close. It's an insane amount of movement tech.
Well, he does 4 clumps of damage.
Yeah.
Like as you look at
It's
it, like
it's
like
the exact
4...
same as Glider Ram, just so you know.
Yeah.
Okay. So yes, tied with then. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's not.
Although,
he's not Green Goblin backside.
He doesn't have to get hurt to do it. Yeah.
Right. On 5 health with no defensive abilities. Yeah. You didn't mention healing factor and exceptional healing.
Factor.
I'm just saying on top of all those things, he's 7 health with healing factor and exceptional healing.
I do have something to say though. Don't ever use Stop Squealing and Die.
Oh my gosh.
Unless you have like 10 power. It's a trap. It's a curse. Every time you use it, you'll get 0 hits. It's the worst fucking ability in the game.
Yeah, it is one of the weirdest. It looks like a dice buff.
It's not bad.
weird.
It's cursed.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
Yeah.
Mathematically, it's actually good,
Uh-huh.
but it's terrible.
It's like the
I
brown
used- I
points
used it
for
today,
an
man.
Evil number.
For some reason, it's just cursed because it's just karma punishing you for not using the throws. Is like because it's like you should always pounce first, and then you should always throw somebody, and then if you still have power, then you can use Stop Squealing and Die. But probably not, because that's probably the power you needed to play Exceptional Healing to save you, but you didn't keep it because you're an idiot. Like, it's really just punishing you for using your power badly. But sometimes when you've just got extra power and nothing to spend it on, then yeah, Stop Squealing and Die is amazing. I at least 5 times I've done it, and then it's like 1 hit, no wilds. Like, fuck my life.
He's in Cabal, isn't he? Let me look real fast.
No.
No, he's not.
He's
Weapon X Brotherhood, I believe.
Yeah, that's right. Because I was gonna say, if he's in Cabal, he can get a reroll. That'd be so cool.
What list were you playing that had Apex Predator in it?
Me?
No,
Oh.
Aaron. He's asking Aaron.
Oh.
Hellfire.
Oh, I see.
Ah.
All right. We're taking way too long on these, I think, though. So let's go a lightning round. Still have some conversation, just like quick to the points. So next up is Parker.
Doc Voodoo. Enough said, right? He's just been around
Because
for so
of
long.
Doc Voodoo.
Yeah.
You're so creative.
I know. I'm just so smart for picking the character that has everything a character wants to win on scenario, regardless of what your opponent does. At least super. If you like solitaire, you'll love Doc Voodoo because he's a solitaire character. He does.
I will
whatever
say
wants.
he is less good on the new mission pack than he used to be, which is why he's
Yes.
not as broken, but he's still very good.
Uh-huh.
All right, Jeremy, you're up.
I think I'm good. I'll
Okay.
pass.
First pass. I got 8 more.
Excellent.
Are you sure you're passing? You just don't want to bother looking at the list?
I mean, models that go to other things and are good in them. I mean, other than Corvus Glaive, which I think that feels like me saying Corvus Glaive, but he needs a
Okay.
reality stone. So
Yeah. I think we may have not really considered them in the 5-pointer conversation, but we probably should have. We'll probably do one of all the stone users at the
Yeah.
end, just because they're wild cards.
yeah, I think we hit. To me, I think I've hit all the ones that I care about.
Aaron?
I'm going to take Psylocke. If you have... Well, I took Logan last time. Same vein. So she is a beater. Pure, she's an assassin. She just has the full kit. She's like, what if I got 7 dice on my basic attack? Oh, sounds good. What if I drained all your damage, drained all your power with that attack? I mean, we just talked about, what's his nut? Claw. Same shit. What if I gave stun before damage is dealt? She does that too. What if I have a quasi-charge? Yep. What if I modded all my dice? Yep. What if I had stealth and martial artist? Like, oh my god, what they figure every good rule and put it on his character?
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that she can choose between energy and mystic attack on her basic makes her super, super good. Because there's not a lot of people that have both good energy and mystic defenses. And some people like Red Skull are guaranteed to have one that's shit. So I'm not sure, unless you're running X-Force or X-Men, I'd run Psylocke and Logan. But I would advise running both of them multiple times to figure out which one suits your play style more. Because they're both very, very good beaters.
Alrighty. Whew, short list of ones I think are worth mentioning remaining, and I don't know which one I want to say, because I know you're going to take the other ones. So I'm going to go with something I don't think you're going to say. I'm going to say Killmonger. I think Killmonger is underrated in the current meta, and I think he still has some gas left in the tank. Which is funny, because originally he was like the best model in the game for like a month, and then, well, Black Panther was also very good. That whole box was amazing. But the original Killmonger in Cabal with Dark Reign was just a monster that people didn't know how to deal with. But that was when the game was 14 models.
It was the only way to deal with Hulk at one
It
point.
was the only way to deal with Hulk, only way to deal with MODOK. It was the only way to deal with any of the hard-to-kill people. And then when Valkyrie came out, she completely replaced him. Because she did what he didn't, which was attack multiple targets. Because she had Flurry. And so ever since then, he's kind of been on the back burner, and he's never really had a hard comeback. But he's right now is exactly when people need someone who can just dump damage into one person for a reasonable price point. And that is what he does. Is he has charge, he's self-sufficient, he doesn't need a lot of help. But if you have a little bit of help, he can go a long way. Like any kind of like a single attack modification like Dark Reign, or if you have Psychic Constructs, you can combo him with Mordo to give him extra attack dice, or Death Decree to give him extra attack dice. And he can just dump a shitload of damage into somebody with one attack. Because he can go in with his spender, it's 7 dice after he charges with his builder. So he's up to 9. And then, like, any extra dice on top of that is already to a silly degree. And then if you add some kind of reroll mechanic on top of, he'll just take people down. And he gets stronger as he starts dazing people. So you can also ping-pong through a lot of small people throughout the course of a game. I once got 6 kill count tokens on him. It was pretty funny.
Good lord.
Yeah, I know. He just kept... He's like, kill you. He wakes up next turn. Kill him again. Kill this guy, too. It was pretty funny.
It's unlimited.
I thought it was. I could be wrong. It was a while ago. Let's see. Killmonger.
Seems like a 3.
Yeah,
is a
no,
3.
it's nope.
When
It's
this character
unlimited.
days or KOs an enemy character, gains kill count token. When this character is attacking, may reroll 1 die per kill count. No limit.
Good God.
Yeah, I know. It was hilarious. He's like, I just have
He-
infinite rerolls.
He is like the epitome of a snowball, right? Like he'll start
Yeah.
small, but if he starts getting more mass, he will just run over
Hmm.
anything.
And with Grunt, I think that was one of his. He also had Grunt character, and so I killed his Grunt
Yeah.
like 2 times.
That's the thing.
I'm
Grunts
just like-
are amazing
Yeah.
for him.
It's like, oh, I'll charge into your Hydra Grunts. There's 3 free power, and then I'll just kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was playing him in Hydra at the time. It was pretty fun. Any back comments?
No, I think I think he is also slept on. Another thing that it's kind of interesting that he does is he likes to lurk. Like he doesn't have to be in the middle. A lot of like beaters love to be scrumming up at the middle.
Yeah, he doesn't
he-
really want to. He doesn't
No.
want to live in the middle of the table. He
No.
wants to be on the outskirts.
But he
and
loves-
clean up all the scraps.
He loves to lurk and kind of like a Wolverine, a Psylocke that way. I think he's in the same conversation as them for sure.
The assassin type.
Yeah.
All right, Parker, you're up.
I'm going to go for one of my favorite out of faction guys to drop into weird places is Loki. God of Mischief is one of the most warping things in the game. If you get the right scenario for him, or if you're willing to put him in now with like Pyro or Groot, where they can put Root out there for very cheap. Very, very quickly, all of a sudden, your opponent's army just finds themselves strangled and impotent, just because a God of Mischief, and any combination of
And
other
just
effects.
Just confirming, you mean without the Mind Stone, right?
Yeah, without the Mind Stone. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm talking about just for God of Mischief. Just you're playing
Mm-hmm.
him as you have to kill. He doesn't have taunt, but he has taunt. Because a lot of your opponents, whether it's right or not, they'll go, oh my god, I have to kill Loki. I have to. And then when you go put him on his backside, well, not only is he doing God of Mischief, it's God of Mischief plus one of the strongest effects in the game, no extra dice for crits. So you have to kill him without your crit help. So blowing him up is that much harder. Putting him in any faction that has a consistent protector of any kind makes it so difficult to remove him. Any faction that can give him a little power so he can use I Am a God or Trickster makes it so much more difficult to remove him. He is 4 points worth a thorny character? I still don't know, but he's one of the most interesting characters to consider outside of his faction.
Can we talk about I'm a God for 1 second? Because I think that's probably, I know I've screwed it up, the superpower that probably gets screwed up the
Yeah.
most. Because it is the only one that I'm aware of where you can choose to use it after the attacker has rolled their dice.
Yes,
Right,
because the reason that they don't say that anymore is Loki.
Yeah.
They figured that out, and they're like, "Oh, we're not doing that anymore." So
Yeah.
the wording is: before rolling attack or defense dice, you may spend 2, and then you count blanks. And technically, due to timing, attacker rolls dice, then defender rolls dice. So there is a window to still do it, and so you get to wait and see what their initial roll is before crits, before you have to spend.
So Loki, Domino, and Malekith are the 3 models where you need to not simultaneously roll dice.
Mhm.
I don't think I'm missing
I
any.
see people do it constantly too, and I'm just like, you're giving them so much free information.
Anyway, I just wanted to clarify that.
But that's an amazing advantage that he has.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Alrighty, Jeremy, you're still passing.
Yep.
Aaron, you're up.
I have one last one. Nick Fury Jr. Purely for the fact that he has this thing called a shield agent that comes with him. If you don't know, there is one type of model that always rolls way above his weight class. And
A
it's
free
a
one?
grunt. Yeah. Like
a free attack?
those little fuckers. It doesn't matter whose they are, right? They're like, oh, 4 dice. Oh, take 6 damage. Right?
I think it's just psychological. You just remember it when it's the grunt.
But you're right from a dice perspective. But a lot of Marvel is just waiting for spikes on dice. And if you figure most people get, let's call it 1.5 attacks on average in a turn, like from turn 2 on, and you've got, let's say 4 models, so you're getting 6 attacks. If you've got, agents that are on the board, they're probably within 3, so they get 2 attacks. So you take your attacks from 6 to 8. That's a 33% increase in the number of attacks you get that are the equivalent of 5 dice. Like, they're not pathetic. They're bad, but they're not pathetic. So you do enough of those over the game, and chances are one or two of them are going to spike and actually put damage on people, or just kill them.
Well, even if you don't spike, the amount of times that people blank out on defense, it doesn't even matter if you spike. You just get free damage.
Yes.
Right. Number of opportunities is really big.
So obviously, just kind of an aside about grunts in general, but he enables a bunch of relatively safe extract plays with the grunts because of their ability to throw extracts back where you want them, not where your opponent wants them. Additionally, his lead from the front is an incredible spender. The reason you don't see it as often as I think you should is because he's usually played in shield, and he leads to save all his power for Eye in the Sky, which you could obviously bring with him if you'd want to. But if you're not worried about Fury living because he's your leader, or spending for Eye in the Sky, if you can just lead from the front, a double lead from the front is 7 dice, followed by 4 dice with a reroll, followed by 7 dice, followed by 4 dice with a reroll. Like, for 6 power, that's insane. And his grunts probably got 2 attacks before that. So, Nick Fury with grunts and 6 power is a sight to behold. Without that, he's still rolling 5 dice with Pierce. So, anyway, there's my Nick Fury rant.
Yeah. I think in all fairness, pretty much every grunt character should be considered.
But if you're just taking them out of affiliation, like just as a splash somewhere, I would take Nick Fury over Shadowlands in a heartbeat. Like, not hands down.
That's fair. I think he's the best of the 4-point grunt leaders.
Yes.
Of the 2 of them.
Yes.
There's 3.
I want to be clear, there's only 2.
There is a third.
I
No, there's
don't
not.
want to hear any of your fucked up
I
opinions.
mean, he basically comes with fallback as well, right? Like a restricted card. Well, not a restricted card, but a tactics card that is fallback.
Escort to safety.
Yeah.
Is escort to safety.
Yes.
Unlimited
yeah,
distance
that's
escort to safety.
Yeah.
And fallback should be restricted, but it's not. All right, I'm going to drop in one more, Rogue. I think she has a lot more tools than people realize, being able to throw size 4 terrain and draining power from specific models. One of the models that Thanos does not want to see on the table is Rogue, because she can punch him in the head all day, and he's likely to never really take any damage, maybe 1 or 2. But she hits sap power on her attacks, which is actually really annoying. And so it forces Thanos to activate much earlier in the turn than he's comfortable with. Because if he doesn't, she'll probably sap 2 or 3 of his power and then drain another 2 or 3 off of her mutant absorption. And so she'll just zero him out every turn, which makes him fucking worthless. Because if he goes to punch her, she has damage reduction and a high physical defense, so he's not likely to gain much power off of her. And so it just, like, makes him fucking worthless, which is hilarious.
Also, she benefits from one of the things that I love, which is it costs an action, but a size 4 throw attached to an attack. A size 4 throw attached to an attack is actually really good if it's cheap, and hers is. So for 3 cost and an action, she gets 7 dice and a throw, which is debatably better than a 3 cost throw, especially when it's size 4. So it's like the
only bad thing about Rogue at all is that she only has range 2 attacks. Like, that's it.
But she does have charge, so
she has charge, which just makes that much better. But
Right.
that's the only bad thing you can say about her. She's so good. Aaron, are you tapping out?
Yep.
All right, I got one last one. I can't believe you guys didn't say.
I got one more.
Oh, I thought you passed a long time ago.
No, I did not.
All right. Well, Parker's forcibly passing now.
Cool. It was
I
Rhino.
thought Parker passed with this first one.
Yeah, he did. All right. I'll let you go after this if this isn't the one you were going to
Okay.
say. Rhino.
That's exactly what I said. I said Rhino.
I know you were going to say it.
Yeah.
It's like, how did you guys not say Rhino?
Yeah, I was expecting Aaron to say it first, actually.
Because
it's-
he's not supposed to be splashed places. He's not that good.
You say that as a criminal player.
He should be played in Criminals and Foes, and that's it.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Hold on, wait. This is me pressing the disagree button. I think Rhino has a lot of mileage and a lot of lists, but you have to want what he's bringing, obviously, which is probably not a lot of damage output, but an annoyance that is really good in scenario play, because he's so fucking hard to get off a point. He's like made of fucking molasses. Like, he's like, if he wants to be on you, he's gonna be on you, and there's really not much you can fucking do about it. He's gonna shadow you like a fucking ninja. Anyway, I like Rhino a lot. He is not great in every squad, but he is a good model.
Yeah, he has surprising mobility multiple ways. Like, that's what it is.
Mhm.
You're like, oh, well, I don't want to spend power to move myself. Well, I'll just attack once and then
Yeah.
teleport. You're like, okay. like you said, he's not going to do a ton of damage, but if he gets the right terrain around him, he might pop somebody surprisingly, because he can throw it. It's not.
He has my least favorite mechanic in the entire game, unfortunately. The place after attacking. I fucking hate that mechanic. It's so bad. I want that out of the game so badly.
There's a lot of other things I'd like to start with out of the game. before that.
No, that's really number one for me. I specifically hate it on builders, like basic attacks. If it's on your spender, sure, I understand. Like they need mechanics like that. But like I hate it so much because you can like I'm over here worried so much about positioning with every single move I make, and my opponent's like, I guess I just place within one of you, and I'm like, fucking Christ. Like why do models matter where they are? Like why does it matter at all? Like everyone's just placing, and it was the flavor of the month rule they came up with because it was like in a row it was Logan and then Rhino, and it was just really annoying. I hate that mechanic.
Sabretooth also has it on his spender, yeah.
Yeah. But it's on a spender. Same thing. Malekith has it on a spender. A lot of people have it on spenders. And they're usually expensive spenders. And that's fine. But it's just like, cool, I used all of my abilities to move you away from the point. And like, I specifically did it to where you couldn't get back with a single move.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter. I have a fucking range 3 place attack. I'm like, whatever. Anyway.
I would like to know. I would like to know why Aaron thinks that he should not be played outside with a scenario stealing tactics card that throws people off points and his movement tech and his survivability. I'm a little surprised.
Well, there's cheaper throwers. Or not throwers, but stealers, if that's what you're looking for.
Well, I'm curious what Aaron thinks. I was curious. Because he's played Rhino a lot, and so I want to know.
He is by far the most plays this year is Rhino. And it's not even close in my lists. Part of that's because I played Criminals 42 times. But, so I agree with what you're saying. He does have a role in other lists. He is not Criminals foes only. However, his offensive output is so bad. He does the one thing great. I'm going to steal your objective. I'm going to set on a point. But a lot of times you need your 4 to be able to have displacement and the ability to kill something, and he just doesn't. Like he's never rolling more than 7 dice. I will say Rhino with Rhino in a China Shop and Smash is amazing and the most fun you can have in a Marvel game outside of playing Daredevil. So you should, if you have not played Rhino with China Shop and Smash, you owe it to yourself to do that because that shit's fun. Which goes back to what I said. If I'm playing a 4, it needs to be able to kill something when I need it killed. And so Rhino's damage is shit unless you combine those 2 cards and then he fucking one-shots any model you want.
Also, with his other card that actually sees play, he gains displacement. So
once and conditionally, right? Like if they have missed objective, his card's worthless.
How did you go from a game where you didn't actually attack to a game now where you have to kill everything?
The game has evolved.
I think you just
Aaron
got
refuses to
angry.
admit that he's changed. Yeah.
I was going to say, I think you just became an old curmudgeon.
Yeah.
You're like, get off my lawn.
Aaron is like John Wick. He refuses violence, and then they killed his dog, and now he's coming for their ass.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, and Rhino's actually in my Hellfire list because he does the one thing very well. Like, I'm not trying to kill people, but...
Yeah. Okay. So, in summary, we've got... Alright, I'm just going to delete this off the list. Black Dwarf, Beta Ray Bill, Crimson Dynamo, Venom, Spider-Woman, Black Panther, Logan, Sabretooth, Doc Voodoo, Psylocke, Killmonger, Loki, Nick Fury, Rogue, and Rhino. Do we all want to like have a majority vote to veto any of the models off this list real quick?
No, I respect each and every one of your opinions, even though they're wrong.
All right. I'm going to say that I'm not going to vote Black Dwarf off the list because I understand what it is. This is the I'm sorry from episode 4 when we rated him, and I gave him an 8 out of 10, and you and Jeremy gave him a 4 out of 10.
Uh-huh.
Actually, I think it was even lower than that. Like I was like, what? I'm actually, you know what? That's it. We're looking it up. I'm looking it up right now because I was so furious. Like you guys are so wrong.
You're the
one that is wrong.
We said a long time ago, like the episode after that we would do eventually some sort of retcon where we look back at models, and we'll have to change it because we were wrong.
Yeah.
And this is it. This is me doing it. This is me fulfilling that promise.
All right, so he got a 4 out of 10 after I gave him an 8. That was how badly you guys rated him.
I still feel like that was probably correct.
Don't feel like that was correct. All right, so let's see. How does that even average out? Did you guys give him 2s? Yeah, you guys
we
gave him 2s.
Yeah, we gave him
You
2s.
fucking. Oh my god, I'm so
then
mad
Parker
now.
went ahead and put him on our list of must uses.
2 years later. 2 fucking years later.
Mhm.
Oh my god.
That's how we teach our children these days.
What is it? Is this 138? I'm actually curious. That's over 2 years later.
Yeah.
Fucking comes back and puts him on the fucking list. Anyway. Oh my god. Parker, small amount of this is the only reason he's not coming off the list is because I know you're just trying to get your fucking I'm sorry in here.
Yeah, this is an apology. This is my love
It's
letter.
an apology.
Yeah.
It's your apology letter.
All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So that's roughly 20%. Yeah, it's not bad. I'm surprised Agent Venom didn't make the list for any of you guys. I've seen a lot of people playing him.
I haven't used him yet. I've never used him.
Yeah, me neither. He hasn't been on my list yet.
He doesn't fix his dice well. He can be super cool.
Well, for me, it's more about the preventing the opposing fixed dice thing, because like that ability that Venom has is widely underrated.
Mm-hmm.
I did. Aaron, do you remember when you're like, "How do I beat X-Men?" I was like, "Do this," and it was like Red Guardian, Sam, Steve, and like Agent Venom. I was like, "Just shoot him! just shoot him dead. They can't use cover." And he's just like, "I hate you."
Yeah.
I'm gonna stand over here and shoot you to death with range 4 attacks. It's gonna be hilarious. Alrighty, cool. Moving on. I think that's gonna pretty much wrap it for us today. Did you guys have anything else to bring up?
Yes, there
Cool.
are 2 tournaments tomorrow. If you're listening on Friday, tomorrow is Saturday. One in Iowa City, it's an LVOS qualifier, and one in Independence, Missouri. Those are 2 local tournaments that if you're around the Iowa, Missouri, Kansas, Nebraska area, you should go to.
And if you're in Kansas City and have an invite, you should come to my Memorial Day party.
If you're not in Kansas City and don't have an invite, you should try to
You
come
should
to
still
Brandon's
try to come to my Memorial Day party.
Who knows? Miracles do happen.
If you want to come and you are not yet invited, send me a message. If I reply, you're invited. It's going to be great. You get so many messages.
Yeah, you're going to get a lot of messages.
Yeah, nobody's going to ask to come.
No. But so many messages.
So a lot of messages.
Not about that.
All right. For real, though, you guys should try and go to those events. Aaron, are you going to Conquest?
I will be staying local, yes.
Ooh.
Are you guys staying local or doing the qualifier?
Neither, probably. I still have a lot of housework to do, and I think on Saturday we're installing my new AC unit, so I'll be busy. However, I think, fingers crossed, the next 2 weeks, I think is the last 2 weeks where my weekends are kind of spoken for, and then I'm going to be back to game day. I'll be playing a lot of games on the weekend.
You know, I think I've heard that for like the past year. I haven't seen it.
Dude, I'd
It's
fucking
like
know,
the
right?
mythical purple fucking unicorn.
Okay, so people that are listening have to wait for this because we're going to talk about it in the Prost Ramble. But I have another home repair story for you.
You asked the question. I will not be able to go to the event this weekend, but I exchanged all those cookies for next weekend for the Geekeries tournament. So the following weekend, rather. So I'll be at the Geekery tournament. Excited for that.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks everybody for listening, and we'll see you next time. This has been Brandon.
And Parker.
Jeremy.
And Aaron.
And you've just listened to Never Forget.
So what are we going to call this thing?
I got it. Okay. Incredible, new, fantastic, astonishing, mighty, original, uncanny, sensational podcast.
I'm just going to put down infamous.
And we did it.
Man, we did it.
Another can filled with hot content.
That's oh boy.
Okay, so I'm sitting here. I just loaded Netflix or streamed it or whatever, and it's in the background, and I just randomly saw that they have this new it's like declassified alien bullshit like they always have. And it's like all the new stuff, aliens, this and that. And I've also been like recently watching Battlefield Galactica, right?
Mm-hmm.
Coincidence? I think not. Continue.
I think we're just doomed. Like like this alien stuff is such trash, and Battlefield is like, look, you're just gonna kill yourselves, like you're done. Like we're
You
just,
haven't even gotten that far into the show yet.
I'm just, this sci-fi thing is
All right.
just bad. Like we're just done.
All right. So, for people that listen, they know that I've been trying to get these chuckleheads to listen to and watch Battlestar Galactica for a while now. I just want you guys to know that on a weekly basis, one of our loyal listeners, Tyler, talks to me and he goes, "Hey, listen, you're doing great. These recommendations are just killing it." And these guys just refuse to have good taste. Like, this is basically our weekly conversation
Whatever.
we have. I'm not kidding. All right. So, you've watched the miniseries and how much of season 1? Did you get through all of it?
About halfway through season 1.
Halfway through season 1.
Yeah.
All right. Are you liking it?
I'll give it a B. Like, I will say that I'll finish it, and I will probably watch maybe a season or two. The problem is I don't have anyone to like watch it with me and enjoy it. Now, I know that in spirit, you're my spirit animal to watch it with me, but no one's watching it with me. Like,
Do you
I
need me
don't-
to Discord in and watch it with you?
no, oh, Jesus Christ. No, but like, it's just, I think my spirit animal is more of a fantasy kind of thing. Like, I need someone wearing different clothes than, they wear. Like,
Different clothes,
different
than they
shoes.
wear.
different shoe styles.
What are you even talking about?
You
They
don't
don't-
get it? He's making it very clear.
Yeah.
This is like a Parker conversation.
No, this is perfect.
But I do enjoy the fact that they do have like cut pieces of paper at the ends of it, where they cut the
Mhm.
corners. That does make me kind of laugh a little bit when you told me.
I
about
told
that.
you that, didn't I?
Yeah,
I told you the story
that was
behind
pretty
that.
funny. That was funny. But yeah, it's fine. I am kind of like ashamed of myself in that it is kind of a sci-fi dogma. Like the whole idea of the show. Like, it's a solid show. I should have watched it in the past and kind of like caught up with it because it is legit. I'll give it that. It just isn't. It's not my shtick. Like, it's fine. I'm sorry. I'm not going to wear the shirt,
I
dude.
hate you so much.
I'm not going to wear the
Hate you so
shirt. I would go to the concert if somebody bought me the ticket, but I'm not going to buy the shirt. That's what I'm saying.
We'll see how you feel when you finish the season.
I thought you were going to say, we'll see how you feel when you're kicked off the podcast and not allowed in the store anymore.
Oh, that goes without saying. That's why I didn't say it.
Oh, gotcha.
All right, Aaron. How close are you to watching Battlestar?
Not.
God damn it.
DVD player in several years.
It's okay. I'm sure he'll get a new DVD player soon.
It's irrelevant. I still have 2 seasons of Discovery, which is 14 hours, 28 hours,
Oh my.
which is like 3 days of painting. But I have nothing to paint, so instead it's 1 hour a day working out. So I'll be done with Discovery in about a month.
Or you could just get really jacked and watch Battlestar.
There are 2 options, but apparently I'm doing better than Jeremy is right now by just not watching. So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
why would I mess with a good thing?
exactly.
So, just to clarify, Jeremy, you don't mind Battlestar because I feel like people immediately got negative about Battlestar. It's that
No.
you're nervous
fine.
about the future of the human race because of the ideas in Battlestar and
Yeah.
also alien shows. Like, what about the alien shows confirms this? Is my question.
There's
Battlestar
just-
Galactica is oddly topical with what's going on
Yeah.
in the world right now. Like,
Yes.
extremely topical.
Yes. The AI
Do
situation.
you not know the premise of the television show?
No,
Okay, so the back of the DVD cover, if you will,
sure.
the lead up to the show. This all happens before even the miniseries starts. The original show was predicated upon the human race invents artificial intelligence, and then they create a race of robots to be basically drones, then end up being like weapons of war as well. Eventually, they become self-aware and rise up against the humans.
Mhm.
There's this great war that takes place over the 12 human planets, and eventually they come to a ceasefire. And the Cylons are the name of the AI robots.
I've heard
Agree
of
to
that.
leave and go off on their own and not come back. And basically, they have a DMZ area, and they agree to never interact with each other again and just leave each other in peace.
Mhm.
If they ever see each other outside in deep space, they'll go their separate ways. And so the AI stuff right now is very relevant to Battlestar as a show.
I get it. So what was the aliens thing then, Jeremy?
There's no aliens in Battlestar.
It's just sci-fi. And
Got it.
I say sci-fi because I'm watching this alien show, and it's all like CGI, but it's all like late 80s, early 90s CGI.
Mm-hmm.
So it really seems sci-fi, and most of this is just garbage anyway.
Yeah, Jeremy's watching reality shows and Ancients and Aliens documentaries instead of watching actual television,
Yeah.
which just says everything you need to know about Jeremy.
Also, Bloodlines. If you haven't watched Bloodlines, that's going to be another hot recommend.
Is that the one about the family that lives on the island? Is that something?
Yes, they live
Okay.
in Florida. It's all about Florida. And
I
Florida people.
watched the first season of that, and it was fucking weird.
It's fucking crazy, man.
Yeah.
There's 3 seasons, and it's fucking apeshit crazy.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Really good.
Mm-hmm. It was a little slow, but it was.
It is, but there's always an underlying like this is going to get fucked up.
Yeah.
Kinda
I really
like-
like the sister, the actress who plays the sister.
Yeah,
that
she's in
was
a lot of
Endgame.
stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's in a lot of stuff. She's also in a show called
Like
what is
Dead
it
to Me or
called?
something.
Yeah, Dead to Me. That was a good show
Yep.
actually too.
But yeah, Bloodlines is solid, and it really feels it's got the like Breaking Bad thing where something's bad going to happen, and you know it's going to happen because it can't not.
It's a big tension show. Aaron, don't you fucking dare write this down. If you watch this before Battlestar, I'm
It's
gonna
you know
come
what?
to your
Every time I
fucking
bring it
house.
up and people have watched it, they're like, "Yeah, I watched that in a day," and they're 1-hour episodes. It's one that people just kind of gobble up.
It's if you like suspenseful dramas, it's good for
Mhm.
that. Although it's kind of obvious in what's like going on. It's not like really provocative. It's like, okay, well, this is like you can pretty much guess where the show's going most of the time.
Yeah, but yeah.
It's very tropey, but it's well done.
Yeah, that's what I've been watching. Is there any new movies coming out?
Yeah, Battlestar Galactica.
That's not a goddamn movie.
It is.
Did I mention I watched 8 hours of a show instead of Battlestar Galactica?
Yeah, Ancients and Aliens.
Oh my god. Dude.
Apparently, I chose a spicy day to not read Discord.
Why?
Apparently, Aaron and Jeremy were having a little spat online, from what I could tell when I skimmed it.
Oh,
Just taking shots at each other.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
It,
big ones.
it was hot.
Oh yeah, it was. It was quite the back and forth.
If Jeremy would
Wait,
just learn
was
how to
I
play
there?
better.
Oh yeah.
Now I feel like we're bearing the lead. Can we talk? Can we say what
Yeah,
happened?
we can talk about it. I figured they were going to elaborate,
Yeah.
but then they didn't. They're really good at content.
Because-
Jeremy's busy watching the guy with the weird hair talk about aliens inside the pyramid, and he's like, "Oh,
How do you know?
the
Are you
historical
also watching
documents
it, you
say
son of a
that it
bitch?"
was aliens."
wait, Jeremy, are you watching wrestling right now?
Nah.
Jeremy, by the way, guys, every single time you ever made that reference, I just had to like blink and wait for it to be over because I didn't understand what it was from. Because it was one of the only Always Sunny jokes memes. It was one of the only Always Sunny memes that I didn't know was from Always Sunny. And I just got to that episode last week, and as soon
You
as
can
it
have
happened,
24 beers.
Dennis Reynolds making a murder.
oh my god, that was the funniest.
that was
the fact that
it
they-
was so good.
the fact
it
that
was so fucking
the
good.
fact that they made Charlie like the poor boy that they took advantage of
Mhm.
with mental disabilities, and he's oh my gosh, that was just they made him that kid. Oh, man, that's so funny. Are you on?
well, if
are
there's some
you on
special
bird?
case sitting around, Charlie's going to do it.
Are you on? Are you on bird tranquilizers right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yar.
God damn it. And then the scene where he's doing the interview and the detective leaves the room and he's like, all right, I gotta go deal something real quick. Let me just check your story out, call some references, and then we'll get you out of here.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, great. And he leaves the camera running, and then like the detective leaves the room, and then Dennis just
Dennis!
slowly
I've never seen
pans
that.
directly into the camera and doesn't blink for 3 straight hours.
I've never seen anything like
Just,
it before. I've
just
seen some.
soul piercing glare,
When he says,
and
I've
does
seen-
not breathe.
the cop's
He's
like,
just
I've
like-
seen some really crazy stuff on the Force. I have never seen anything that cold and scary.
Like, it haunts me to this day.
Yeah, just staring at the.
Because I didn't even see it for weeks later when I reviewed the footage. And I'm just
Yeah.
like, oh my god, this guy just stared straight into the camera for 4.5 hours.
Never blinked.
Never blinked. He's like, this guy killed somebody. Like, 100%.
Also, the payoff at the end was. I love the payoff.
Oh, it's so good.
It's just like they have footage from the roof where she's prancing around like a cat and she fell off and killed herself. Just like that's the payoff at the end is they actually saw her. There's a footage
Like, they
clearly
forgot
of
about
her
this,
like
he didn't kill her,
dancing
yeah.
around on the roof and she fell off. Like that was one of the things listening to the podcast. I didn't know this. One of the things that they care about a lot is it coming back down to earth at the end of the episode. Like it can go way off the rails and get really crazy and really high stakes and very strange as long as it comes right back down at the end, right? The plane's got to land. And one of their favorite things to do is to drop that in like the last 10 seconds of the episode. Just like, and the plane lands, the end. And then the roll credits. I thought that was a perfect execution of that idea. Go totally off the rails, make all these claims and accusations about, characters and then immediately just land the plane at the end. Nope, it wasn't that. She was just a crazy person.
When Deandra's telling the documentary crew how Dennis strangled that crow that one time.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, he just
Took
broke
the head
its
off
neck
it.
in his hands, and then
Yeah.
like he just took its head right off, and then they go cut to Dennis. He's like, yes, there was a second crow and a third. I just couldn't believe that the crow's neck could break so easily. And then there was a fourth and a fifth.
Yeah.
It's like just spiraling.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so great. That is such a gem of an episode.
Oh, and oh my god.
Because it's just as zero overline. It's just
Yeah.
one exclusive like exhibition episode that is just
Yeah.
pure fucking gold.
the part where Frank leaves his mic on.
Yeah.
He left his mic on. I gotta get out of here. I gotta get out of here.
I just confessed to a whole lot of stuff that I definitely did.
He tells
He's like,
his
oh, that's
tag.
like outside statute of limitations. I think you're good. He's like, oh, good. They had a really good buffet.
Yeah, they had a
Go back.
pretty good spread. I was just crying. They had a pretty good spread. Let me back in there. Oh man, that
Mhm.
Frank is always makes me just laugh so hard. But that whole episode, very good. And I can't believe I did not know that's the reference you guys were doing with the.
Mhm.
Oh man, I'm almost done with it. By the way, I think a season and a half is what I got. But of course now a new one's coming out in like a couple weeks. But
Yeah. So, on the Dresden front, I don't know if you guys know Connor. He plays 40K and a little bit of MCP.
Mhm.
He just hit the home run stretch of Dresden. He just started book 11. He finished book 10 yesterday. So the scene when Harry takes Michael out to the garage and like asks him why he doesn't trust him anymore.
uh-huh.
He got to that part at work, and he had multiple people come up to him. He was like, "Are you okay?" Because he
Probably looked like he was having a stroke.
He works at a warehouse pharmacy where they like mail out prescriptions. And he was like walking and dropped the tray he was carrying and just screamed "No!" into the fucking warehouse.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, "Are you okay, Connor?" It's such a great scene. So yeah, he's starting book 11 now, and his brain is exploding.
Yeah, that scene. I think I just probably looked like I had a stroke while I was listening to it. I was just standing there. It's one of the most stunning.
Yeah, it literally used to like, oh shit, and you just like shit your pants.
That scene is a really good. Like, if you wanted to give people a reason to do audiobooks, that scene is probably one of them. Because I don't think that scene works read. I don't think that scene does what it did to me if you read it.
Oh, the performance is really good.
Right. But the fact that it was performed, the fact that I couldn't read the words, because there's a certain amount of, I don't know about, when you know about reading is readers, especially faster readers like me, like we're taking clues from the whole page, like at the same time, kind of. You're not just going, word by word. If you are going word by word, you're probably really struggling to enjoy reading because of how reading works. But that would sap some of the power of that line, right? If you were reading the whole thing, and all of a sudden you knew what was happening before it was happening. It would take, but man, at that moment when it's read,
there's a couple
so strong.
scenes like that where it's just like something blindsides you super hard, and like that scene almost makes you want to start like the whole book over again and figure out how long the thing has been happening.
Absolutely.
And it's actually funny enough, I've read the book enough times now that you can actually catch little glimpses into it that sound like typos previously before you get to that scene. And so you'll be going through it and you're like, that's weird, this is not a complete sentence. And you don't realize that it's that way because of the payoff at the end. Because it's just cut out, which is great. Anyway, I just wanted to anyone interested in reading Dresden Files should definitely do it. It's very good. All right. Did we landed on a topic from last week, didn't we? We were going to do, was it 4-pointers?
Yeah, that's what we're excited about. That's what I was excited about.
Or was it 2s? I think it was 4s, right?
4s that you were excited about putting in, like 4 freelancers, right? That is the idea.
Yeah, mercenaries.
Right.
This is going to be a little bit harder.
I don't know. I feel like
just the list.
Like as I look at it, looked at it, I realize immediately a lot of them just fell right off. Like they're very situational, or they seem kind of glued to their affiliation.
Man, I thought there was more 4-pointers in the game.
There are a lot.
Yeah, it's not a small number.
No.
So I'm bringing over the list. I thought there was a lot more 4s than 5s. But I don't think there's that many more.
Nope, not that many more.
Oh, this can't be right. Is this right? There's only 50? I guess that's right. That's more than I thought, I guess.
Yeah, I see 51 on what I just listed. Off of MCP database.
Yeah, that's where I pulled.
It's okay. There's only 7 we're taking, so we're good.
Yeah, it's going to be a short list. Well, you probably save a lot of time and just delete Cyclops right now, right?
Oh, shit, we're down to 6.
You know what? I didn't think I was going to have another soda today, but all of a sudden I really want a soda. So I'm going to go grab a soda before we start. I'll be right back. All right. Get some ASMR in. Now I have to clean my mic. Great.
That's the trouble. That's the trouble with being professional ASMR.
I know.
You gotta clean that
mic.
mic.
Clean all the semen off your mic.
Oh my god.
So I have a question for you guys.
Alcohol.
This is gonna be somewhat of a vote. So a little backstory here. I'm having a party this weekend. You guys all know this. But I suggested a party food that I could make that everyone would like, and I was immediately ridiculed for my suggestion. And so I want to know if I'm crazy or if this is just a cultural difference. If you're having like a long all day party, is an appropriate food chili? And the reasoning behind that is if it's going to be like a 6 or 7 hour party, I want a food that you can just put in a crock pot and will be available whenever. Because I'm all for hot dogs and hamburgers, but unless you're doing like a dinner at a specific time, nobody's going to eat a 4-hour-old hot dog. Like, that's just stupid. So
I'm going to go ahead and jump way on Team Brandon on this one.
Okay.
I have done many get-togethers at my house in which chili was the thing that was offered. It is the perfect thing that's meal-ish. Now, one thing we have done before is offered like hot dogs, like if you want to put chili on a hot dog or something like that, you can nuke it, or if you want to grill it, go ahead. But the thing that's here is chili. Also, depending upon how much you want to go in on scratch chili, how much you want to do from scratch, you can make a badass chili and it tastes great. So you don't, And like you said, it can stay warm all day. Don't have to worry about
It gets better the longer it's sitting there.
right. You don't have to worry too much about salmonella or just it turning or drying out as the day goes on, that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
Like even if you put something in a warming oven, eventually it dries out so much you can barely eat it. So
Hmm.
I think chili is a perfect thing for something like that. I do not know if it's a better one, unless maybe there's something cold, like a cold version of it, maybe like a cold pasta or something like that. Maybe that would be better. But that's what I think you'd have to do.
So that was my other thought, is I could do a pasta and just put it in the crock pot.
The problem with pasta, of course, is the noodles eventually dry out, I guess. But
Yeah, probably a little bit.
I think it's your party. Do whatever you want.
I want your feedback, Jeremy.
I'm a big believer in whatever time you say is the time to eat, people eat, and I mean, I don't know. It's an appetizer party. If you have chili, then you can eat all day. It doesn't matter to me. Whatever. I'm not into chili during the summer, but that's fine.
okay, now here's the other thing.
Feels like he's trying to say not chili, but he doesn't want to.
Yeah, but I don't have a perfect solution if you're trying to feed people all day long. That's,
Yeah.
I don't have a
So
solution.
you
that's
think
better.
chili is bad, but appropriate for the situation?
I mean, if you're trying to make an appetizer that lasts all day long, you basically have like cheese dip, what is it, little sausages,
Yeah, little
or
smokies.
chili,
Mhm.
or ham and beans, or soup. Like
Gumbo.
those are the only
Short list,
things
yeah.
that sit, or pot roast. I mean,
Hmm.
Gumbo.
yeah, there's only a handful of things that you can pretty much have just all day long.
Yeah, I guess you'd put something over rice like gumbo, jambalaya, etouffee. There's some Cajun stuff that work pretty well. But
Aaron, you are welcome to bring gumbo.
Okay.
I don't know how to make it though, so I can make rice. If you need rice, I got the rice.
You need to provide the ramen, and you will just boil the hot broth, and we will dip
Yeah.
our noodles into the
I
hot
will
broth.
pour my Keurig water all over
Yes.
your crispy noodles.
Yes.
Here's a, I assume, not unpopular opinion. Soda is so much better over ice than not.
Soda is better over ice than not.
yeah, soda is better over ice than
Correct.
out of a can. Absolutely. It is. I think is it designed that way, quote unquote? Is that
It is actually.
yeah,
It's overly concentrated because they expect you to put it over ice.
right. They would.
Which is why it tastes like fucking syrup when it's not over ice.
Mhm.
But over ice, it's just refreshing.
I like to me, Diet Coke in a glass, no straw, immediately drink it with ice in it is so good. That's my favorite. You put a straw in it, and it doesn't taste like as cold or whatever. It tastes weird. I don't know.
Jeremy, I feel like we've had this conversation exactly before. How I like the last piece of ice is just melted in a Diet Coke. I like that flavor. We've talked about this
Like
before,
the
I think.
watered down Diet Coke?
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Not warm. Ugh, that tastes
Mm.
gross. But like it's the last piece of ice is almost gone. It's still
It's still like
cold.
almost ice cold, but it's
Right.
diluted.
It's
Right.
mostly
No, yeah.
spit.
It's mostly
No,
spit.
no,
Mostly
it's,
spit.
it's been sitting there. Not that
Oh.
it's the bottom of a
It's
bottom
mostly
of a beer.
swill.
I will throw away the bottom ounce of a beer bottle. I will throw it away because I hate the bottom of a beer bottle. For that exact reason, I can't stand
Because it's
it.
like warmish.
Yeah, it's like warmish and spittish. I feel like it just tastes like my own saliva.
Every time he
I don't
takes
know,
a
but
drink, he sort
I
of spits a
drink-
little bit.
I drink beer way more greedily than you do. I guess I don't
It
let it
is-
just swash around in my mouth and go
Yeah.
back in the bottle.
Well,
A little
it's
bit.
not a mouthwash.
Just a little bit, though.
Some people, I use it as Listerine constantly. Is what I'm saying.
I don't even let my lips touch. I just pour it into my mouth.
You
Like,
show me a person who doesn't use Bud Light as Listerine. I'll show you a goddamn liar.
Oh my god! I remember the first time I had Budweiser at all. I was just like, "Blah!" Like I was just like, this is the grossest thing I've ever had.
I actually don't
And
like
they're like,
Bud
"What do you
Light,
mean? It's just
but
beer."
Actual Budweiser, I actually don't mind the taste of actual
like-
Budweiser.
Bud Heavy is actually decent. Like
Yeah.
it's very solid. Bud Light is complete trash.
Bud Heavy.
I concur.
I've only ever heard it called Bud Heavy. Nobody calls it anything else. Which is funny because it's actually it's like a 6% beer. It doesn't have a horrible flavor to it. It's not a nice beer, but it's cheap. It's like of cheap beer, it's very good.
Is Bud Light like low in sugar? Is that what it is? Is it just the sugar content?
It's a light beer, yeah.
You take a
they're all,
beer,
like low carbs, low calories.
Low carbs, low
and
calories.
you pour a bunch of water and horse piss in it,
Yeah.
and warm it up, and then cold, and then warm it up again, and then cold.
I can count on one hand how many times I've ever had a Bud Light. It may be zero. I maybe have never once imbibed.
Well, every time you steal it from one of your 7-year-old students.
There was a case of it at a graduation party I went to this previous weekend, and as soon as I opened up the cooler, I was like, nope, and I just closed it immediately. I didn't imbibe at all. It's an alcohol sounded good, but I was like, this is Bud Light. I'm moving on.
All right, so Budweiser has 145 calories, 10.5 grams of carbs, and Bud Light. Oh my God, what is that? Has 110 calories and 6.6 carbs, so it's about half the carbs and 2/3 the calories. It's not as much better for you as I expected.
Yeah.
Like, the taste difference is worth that to me by a lot.
Aaron, you want to weigh on this? Are you a secret Bud Light fan?
Aaron
Just
is
been
not
holding your
interested in
thought?
drinking anything that's made by Budweiser.
I don't drink anything that you can see through.
Don't drink anything you can see through. Don't drink anything. So that's vodka and tequila and
Sprite.
And man, what is it? What are things you can't see through and drink?
Stouts.
Yeah,
Stouts
yeah.
and ales.
Ales, so IPAs, yeah. Shandies, can't see through shandies.
You actually see through a lot of shandies and IPAs.
Yes,
can?
IPA is 2 week sauce.
Oh, okay. I thought a
we're talking
shandy was pretty cloudy. I thought maybe I'm wrong.
He likes to not know how many dead rats are in his beer before
like-
he starts drinking it.
unfiltered wheat beer. Give me a
There you go.
Hefeweizen and a Dunkel. Trappist ale is my favorite. But if it resembles the look of elephant piss, it will come nowhere near my lips.
Oh,
Unless it's
now I
actual
gotta find out
elephant
if elephant piss isn't cloudy. Elephant piss cloudy internet? Question mark.
Cloudy internet?
I put elephant piss cloudy question mark. Here we go.
That sounds so much like if Google was a guy.
Urinary
Oh my
infection.
god, there is a journal on it. Urinalysis.
There's a
in elephants.
journal on it.
I am reading a journal. This is.
I am
You
so
got
glad
this.
the Facebook algorithm is tracking you searching this and not me.
Oh, there's no Facebook algorithm right now.
Yeah, don't worry. If your phone is within a mile of you, this is
Oh,
going
yeah.
into your algorithm.
Oh no! Don't you guys worry. They can't trace me. That doesn't work like that. You guys are all wrong. They can't.
So
they
it's
can't
okay.
do
I don't
this.
even have a MySpace account. They can't
Yeah,
get me.
you can't. How could you possibly know? LimeWire. I deleted that a long time ago. They can't know nothing about me.
I
Ooh.
actually did find out some scary things about internet, like security and things. It's apparently much easier to get a hold of your shit than you think it is.
Oh, it's insanely easy. Yes.
I didn't realize how easy it was.
It's so easy. It's kind of funny how easy it is. It makes me.
It's
laugh.
like no wonder people get their identity stolen and never do anything wrong. like yeah, you basically the guy drove by your house with a van and now he has all of your information.
Hmm. Yeah, all I know is all I had to do was talk about baseball, and everything on my phone is trying to sell me baseball things. Everything in my Gmail account, ads, everything, all the ads on my streaming services pop up, whatever. All of it is all baseball related or cooking related,
Okay.
whatever.
All right. Well,
So
I got it. According to the Journal of Zoo and Wildlife Medicine, an article, Urinalysis in Asian Elephants, published in 2009. So this is a little bit dated, but we can assume Asian elephant populations haven't changed much since then. It is actually findings included urine that was less concentrated compared to other mammals. There is very, very low likelihood of things like inflammatory disease. There's a little bit of blood in one of the
I
samples.
think this was the question.
But what I'm saying is, I think it's
We're going for
I
color.
think it's what I'm saying is, they don't say very clear. Like they don't say that. It's just a bunch of data, and there's not a whole lot of stuff inside of it. I think it's pretty clear. Is what I'm saying.
Just click the button images when you
I
search
wish.
Elephant Piss.
Okay, well let's find out.
Just select images only.
Oh
I
yeah!
just
Oh my
trust
gosh!
them.
There's so much pictures of elephant peeing. That's astounding, internet. I am very impressed.
I trust all my information with whatever
He's
Aaron
over here
tells
reading
me.
science
I don't have to
journals
research
about
it.
Fucking UTIs.
I want to know
Okay,
about.
so Parker,
Cranberry
right now
juice.
everything you're looking at is not something I would drink.
Okay,
Opposite of that.
got it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, I've learned everything I need to learn.
Ever.
Yeah.
No more.
He's much more into dehydrated dog piss.
Yeah. I needed to really thicken up before I can
Yeah.
get too
Thicken
interested.
that
he
piss
needs,
stream.
he needs to look like this thing has been parched.
If it doesn't bitch slap me on the way down, I don't want it.
Interesting.
Oh my god. You guys are weird.
A milky piss stream.
I am the opposite. Give me elephant pee. I'm all about it. Let's do it. Don't give me exactly elephant pee, internet. Don't do
I will
that.
bring you some special vodka tomorrow.
It's funny.
Mhm.
I actually am averse to vodka, especially. However, I will try it.
Okay.
My I had one negative experience. Everybody has that, right? Everybody has their one negative alcohol where you had it once too much, and then that's it.
Yeah.
You just struggle with it. Mine is vodka. I had a bad experience with vodka.
That's mine
Mine is
too.
whiskey. I had way too much whiskey, and now I can't stomach it at all.
Mhm.
It's just I cannot get past the gag reflex.
Yeah.
So on the topic of data mining, I used to talk with Tyler a lot at the shop about our Wish.com ads, because there was like about 5 years ago, Facebook was really in deep on the Wish.com ads, which are just like horrible crap that because they sold it's like Etsy but for China knockoffs. Like it's just all kinds of crap that's remade by other manufacturers and sold at super bargain rates. And so because they were in on Facebook, they would have customized ads built into your news feed. And so because I work at a game store, the three items that were always the same three items in my Wish.com ad was Black Core Magic cards, which are just counterfeit Magic cards sold on Wish.com, which are like, commonplace nowadays. Pokemon figurines, like little like Pikachu plushies and stuff. And then the other one was like anal butt plugs. Like that was the third item. There's nothing. It doesn't matter what the fuck. Every single ad was exactly the same thing. There'd be visually different, like so there'd be a variety, but that was always the same three items. Just because the amount of words used at the store would just like push the algorithm so far off the deep end, it didn't know what I wanted.
You're like, I have been looking into this butt plug thing, and I mean, it's such a good deal. I might as well try it.
The words like "fuck you" and "my ass" get used so regularly around me that it just assumes that I just really want something like that.
This reminds me of the. I was watching something. I can't remember what it was. I think it was John Oliver. He was talking about how AI is taking over. Speaking of AI, and apparently there is a butt plug that is like motorized, and it is controlled by AI and like a remote and like an app or something. And so somebody used I think it was AI to hack one, and like had an ass plug like stuck in their ass had to get it surgically removed basically, because they used it was like ransomware, right? Like they lock up your computer, but instead they lock up this guy's bowel. If they didn't pay them money to unlock it, and so he had to get it.
I'm sorry. Did you start this conversation with "I read somewhere"?
No, I watched this. This was I think I was on Last Week Tonight with John Oliver. I think.
You're not making it better.
I knew a guy who is that what he started with?
I may have got ransomware butt plugged, is what I'm saying.
I got ransomware one time.
I may or may not.
I knew a guy
had a slight surgical procedure.
Parker, I hate to do this, but fucking take 10 demerits, because that shit is just not to be brought up on the cast ever again.
Why? I thought it was a great story.
Oh my god.
I think it's a good cautionary tale for anyone.
That's not the worst like segue he's ever made.
Yeah.
That's like
Although, I'm
for
gonna be honest.
the entirety of the past hour.
I don't understand how like you design a butt plug that one of its features is can like lock itself within you. Like that's one of like yeah, it just like does this spreading like arrowhead design where it's just like now it can't be removed. Like,
I don't know.
That's
how
definitely not
happens,
a feature that I want.
Yeah.
For
I don't know how
$500 dollars in Amazon gift cards, he was able to unlock it.
$500 Amazon gift cards. Oh,
That was
terrible.
uncomfortable.
Oh my god, that's
It's
terrible.
a long wait in line at Hy-Vee.
Yeah.
You can't do it electronically. It's much better in person. I like that.
You gotta go get him physically. Yeah, with the butt plug going crazy.
You
Sir,
think the
are you
batteries would
okay?
just die eventually? Like,
Whew.
anyway, moving on. Let's get into it.
Okay.
I feel like that's a good place to leave it.
Mm-hmm. That's perfect.
Did you like that?
No, that's perfect.
Nice.
Yeah.
So fun story. I'm going to tell you a series of events. You tell me if you think that this is a lie or something that really happened. Okay.
Hold on. This is a story you got told.
Yeah, this is
Okay.
this is a truth or a lie. No, this is my story to you. I want you to tell me if you think this really happened or if I made this up.
Got
Does
it.
it involve an anal butt plug and a claw?
It does involve ransomware. I will say that.
Okay.
All right. So, Sunday evening this last week, our AC unit stopped working. Conveniently, it was already cooling off for the day, so it was actually kind of nice out at that point. It wasn't terrible. It was like mid-70s. Like, it's very reasonable. So we go outside and we start playing with it, trying to figure out what's wrong with it. I have very minor HVAC background, and my roommate Alex has a lot of like electronic experience. So I do a couple Google searches and watch some videos explaining how to troubleshoot the issues. We go out there, we tear the unit apart, and we're fucking with it, and we think we figure out what's wrong with it. The problem is the thing wrong with it is usually a symptom of other big problems. So Monday morning before I go to work, I drive to my old job selling HVAC equipment, and I buy a whole new air conditioning unit and then go out and drop it off in the garage so that when I have a friend come over later who is an HVAC technician, he's going to look at it and then figure out what's wrong. So he comes over, calls me at work, and tells me it was just a $7 part. It's fixed now. And then
No, this did not happen.
I concur with Jeremy.
I think it happened. Go.
it definitely happened.
What the fuck? What?
Should have put episodes of this shit.
Should put episodes on it.
You only bet on things that you're absolutely fucking incorrect on.
That's true. That's fucking true.
So why the fuck did you do something? Why? Why?
Do you want to buy an air conditioner?
First.
It's in the
do you
garage.
wanna
Oh,
buy
I
an
can
air
send you.
conditioner?
Hold on, I have a picture of it actually. Oh, my phone's in the other room.
Why
So
did
you have an AC unit just sitting in your garage? They can't take it back? You can't take it back?
Still in the box.
He stole an air conditioner, number one.
Yeah, I didn't pay for it. No, I
say,
definitely
no
paid
way
for
this
it.
dude paid for a whole air conditioner.
No. Well, it was a trick story because the air conditioner's for the garage, not for.
Gotcha.
So that's what I already spoiled it. I told you I was putting in the AC unit this weekend.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it was only a $7 part, so I have air conditioning. Yay!
Good job.
So what is the air conditioning unit for then? The garage?
But
Also?
yes,
Okay.
that's why. Oh no, the AC to the house went out.
Right.
The AC unit I'm buying, I just bought on Monday, is for the exterior garage, the shed that we've talked about before.
Got it.
He told a story, but it was kind of a trick
Mm.
question.
It was a trick story.
Now we're addicted to heroin.
And
Long story short,
You
you
smoke
have an
crack.
anal beads shoved up your ass.
you drank a cup of poison.
Parker, you've seen that one.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
Well, you shouldn't feel too good because you just drank a cup of poison. God, I love Always Sunny so much. Oh boy.
All right, let's wrap it up. I gotta go to work.
Yeah, I just don't want to. I'm having so much fun.
Oh, okay, good. Let's wrap it up.
You guys are all playing tomorrow?
Yep.
I'm going to try to be there early.
I'm still playing Midnight Suns, man. I'm kind of jonesing. Like I'm digging their vibe,
God damn it.
the cut of
I'm
their
going-
jib.
I'm going.
You said you were going to switch off of them so long ago that I've like been waiting to play them.
Fucking play him.
Just-
That's it. I'm playing them now.
I don't
That's
fuck
and
what you
we're just gonna. Everyone's gonna quit the game because just me and Jeremy playing Midnight Suns every day.
Everywhere I look, everyone's playing a fucking Hulk anyway. Who gives a shit?
I'm not playing Hulk. Well, I did put regular
Then
Hulk in my
don't.
list, but I only played him once. I will say though that Sam list that I built that has legs. I just don't really enjoy playing it that
Yeah,
much.
I don't like playing the Sam list at all.
I get bored with Sam after like 2 weeks. That's always been my experience with him. Like
Yeah.
I actually enjoy playing the games, but then I just like I get intellectually bored with the list because it's not complicated. It's super simple. But I will say anybody who wants to try that list, it was actually a lot of fun. It's basically just generic Sam stuff and then throw in Punisher and Ghost Rider, and that list is awesome.
Yeah, I kind of like any version of the Suns list. I like both versions
Mhm.
with using what's his face, Sorcerer and
Strange?
Strange.
OG Strange?
Yeah, OG Strange and Blade, or Hulk version. It just depends what scenario, but just playing both versions feels really good. Like, and also like I've learned to be very patient with Hulk and not play him like Malekith. They're very different. Like I was initially playing him like exactly the same as Malekith. Go try and crush the world. It doesn't play that way, or he doesn't have to.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna throw my Midnight Suns list together tomorrow, and then I'll see how close we got because I really haven't seen what you've been playing other than like it's Suns with Hulk.
Mhm.
So I imagine we'll probably be pretty close, but I'm curious how far apart we are. Alrighty.
Cool.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
So long.
Bye. Bye.